Chapter 1498. Hey Tu asked again. Since you're back, does that mean you found the energy essence? I found it. Lin Xian waved his hand and threw out a black corpse. This is the heavenly netherbird. Hey Tu was shocked. Where did you get the heavenly netherbird's corpse? Thus, Lin Xian explained what happened in the Sky Martial Continent and asked, how is it? Can the heavenly netherbird's corpse be used as an energy source? 2-star late stage king, it's fine. As long as we can activate the Black Earth, things will be easy in the future. Hey Tu was excited. He could finally leave this place. Lin Xian asked again, do you know what the underworld is? Underworld? Why are you asking this? Hey Tu's voice was serious. The heavenly netherbird seems to be able to borrow the energy of the underworld. Also, I obtained a demon sword that seems to be related to the underworld. Lin Xian waved his hand and pulled out the 9-hell demon sword from the king's domain. It's strange that the heavenly netherbird has a connection with the underworld. Could it be that this demon sword also came from the underworld? Hey Tu looked carefully but couldn't figure it out. He then said seriously, Brat, the true spirit world is vast and boundless. However, there are some places that are extremely dangerous. Humans call them forbidden lands. The underworld is one of them. Let me tell you, don't even think about these forbidden lands. Even saints can't survive there. What? That's terrifying. Lin Xian was shocked. He wasn't a newbie anymore. He knew that above kings were saints. They were even more terrifying existences. However, even such a powerful expert couldn't return from a forbidden land. It seemed that the forbidden lands were truly terrifying. He just didn't know where the heavenly netherbird obtained the 9-hell demon sword. However, he didn't think too much about it. After all, this demon sword already belonged to him. Lin Xian put away the 9-hell demon sword and ran to see Grandpa Lin and the others. Hey Tu and the Crimson Dragon moved the heavenly netherbird's corpse into the Black Earth and used it as an energy source to activate the Black Earth. 3 days later, the Black Earth suddenly trembled. Lin Xian, Grandpa Lin, and the others all came out. Lin Xian was even more excited. He asked, is it done? It's done. The heavenly netherbird's body is well preserved, and the energy inside hasn't been lost. It's perfect as an energy source. Hey Tu quickly said, we can leave at any time. Are we leaving now? Lin Xian took a deep breath and said in a deep voice, let's go. Soon after, the Black Earth glowed and rose from the ground. It turned into a stream of light and rushed into the sky. The entire demon abyss was filled with rolling clouds. Massive amounts of clouds were like waves crashing in all directions, disappeared. From today, the Xia was it. The Black Earth turned into a stream of light and instantly disappeared from the sky. 10 days later, he arrived above the palace of gods of war. Fast. It was too fast. It had to be known that Lin Xian and the others had used close to half a year to travel between the Tianan region and the Tianwu continent on the spirit boat. Even after he became a king, he still needed 2 to 3 months. But now, the Black Earth only took 10 days to arrive above the palace of gods of war. It had to be said that this was really too shocking. When Hey Tu heard this, he laughed in disdain. This is nothing. This is just flying at a low speed. Our true speed will only be revealed after we leave the Tianwu continent. He had to conserve some energy. Heavens, this is just flying at a low speed. Lin Xian was shocked. The Crimson Dragon also swallowed his saliva. To be honest, the grade of this flying ship was beyond his imagination. It was definitely not an ordinary Earth-class artifact. After arriving above the palace of gods of war, Lin Xian quickly sent a voice transmission to the people below to prevent any misunderstandings. Below, the warriors of the palace of gods of war received the order and immediately opened a passage for Lin Xian and the others to enter. The palace of gods of war was now impregnable. There were formations set up by the Crimson Dragon everywhere. If others were to barge in, they would definitely be attacked. Those below the king level would not be able to escape. Even kings would be flustered, seeing the formation open a passage. The black earth quickly transformed into a small spirit tribe. With a whoosh, it entered the passage. Soon, it arrived at the surface of the palace of gods of war. Poof! The spirit ship landed slowly, causing a huge shockwave that surged in all directions. Near the ninth elder, and the others had already gathered. They had received Lin Xian's notice and were here to welcome him. The Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon were the first to walk out. Old Master Lin, second Uncle Lin, and the rest of the Lin family followed. Young Master, you're back. Ninth elder, and the others quickly walked forward. Lin Xian began to introduce both parties. Then he asked Ninth Elder and the others to arrange for his family members to rest. Lin Xian had already thought about it. He would let the Lin family settle down here in the future. He and Dean Xian would send the younger disciples to Senma College to cultivate. As for the older generation, they would cultivate in the palace of gods of war. Lin Xian did not have to worry too much about the future of the Lin family, because according to the rumors, his father had already set up a series of measures to ensure the safety of the Lin family. Lin Xian only needed to leave in peace. After settling down the Lin family, Lin Xian heaved a sigh of relief. However, Lin Xian did not leave immediately. In the following month, he spent time with old Master Lin and the rest of his family. Lin Xian knew that he did not know when he would return after leaving this time. Now that he had time, he had to spend more time with his family. At the same time, he arranged for people to search for news of Zhao Shui on the mainland. Lin Xian had never forgotten about Zhao Shui. However, after she came out of the remote sky secret realm, there was no news of her. Now he sent people to search for her, hoping to find her when he left. However, he did not receive any news of Zhao Shui. Instead, he received news of two people. They were Morong Qingcheng and Shen Jingqiu. The two girls knew that Lin Xian was leaving the Tianwu continent, so they had been waiting patiently in the family. Now that they knew that Lin Xian had returned, they immediately rushed over. When Lin Xian found out what the two girls were thinking, his eyes widened in shock. What? You want to go to the quintessential world too? However, we don't know what's going on there. It might be very dangerous. Do you really want to go? When he saw Morong Qingcheng and Shen Jingqiu's eyes, Lin Xian sighed. How could he not know what they were thinking? After spending these days together, they had already developed feelings for each other. Not to mention the two girls, he was also very reluctant. Chapter 1499. He Tu flew over and quickly said, "What's the big deal? Let's go together." These two had extraordinary bloodlines. It was a pity for them to stay in this small place. Don't worry. With their bloodlines, they will be put to good use in the quintessential world. Hearing this, Lin Xian was overjoyed. If that was the case, it was not impossible to bring Morong Qingcheng and Shen Jingqiu away. When the two women came to the Palace of Gods of War, they had already discussed it with their families and received their approval. Therefore, they did not need to go back. They only needed to stay by Lin Xian's side. Lin Xian, on the other hand, quickly prepared some resources. After all, according to He Tu, the journey was extremely long. After waiting for another month, Lin Xian still did not find Zhao Shui. Suddenly, he sighed. He knew that there was no point in waiting any longer. Therefore, he prepared to leave. This time, the Crimson Dragon, Morong Qingcheng, Shen Jingqiu, and Luo Bingshan left with him. Lin Xian was also surprised that Luo Bingshan wanted to follow him. This was because he had already removed the beast slave seal on Luo Bingshan and restored her freedom. Logically speaking, she should have left. However, Luo Bingshan did not leave. Instead, she continued to follow Lin Xian. This time, she even insisted on going to the quintessential world. In the end, Lin Xian nodded and agreed. The group boarded the Black Earth. Lin Xian bid farewell to Old Master Lin, Second Uncle Lin, Ninth Elder, and the others. Goodbye, Grandfather, Second Uncle, Ninth Elder. Goodbye, Palace of Gods of War. Goodbye, Sky Martial Continent. Lin Xian stood in the sky and looked down silently. Then he took a deep breath and entered the Black Earth. Lin Xian knew that he did not know when he would return to the quintessential world this time. After Lin Xian entered, the Black Earth closed completely. Then it released a bright light and disappeared into the sky like a shooting star. In a day, the Black Earth left the Sky Martial Continent and came to the Endless Sea. According to He Tu, now was the time to truly accelerate. There were countless array formations and mechanisms on the Black Earth. Under Lin Xian's control, he could see the situation outside. Behind them, the Tianwu continent became smaller and smaller until it was just a small black dot. All around them was the endless blue sea. In the next moment, the Black Earth suddenly trembled like a huge black hole, and it began to devour the surrounding spiritual energy. Under the full acceleration, the heavenly Netherbird's corpse couldn't withstand it. Fortunately, he had already activated the Black Earth with the heavenly Netherbird's corpse. All he needed to do now was to absorb the spiritual chi of heaven and earth. He Tu was very excited. Then, under his control, the Black Earth released an endless amount of light. It instantly accelerated, turning into a stream of light as it sped across the entire sea. It was too fast. Even Lin Xian and the Crimson Dragon couldn't see what was happening outside. Lin Xian estimated that this speed was definitely not something an ordinary king could display. Fortunately, they had the Black Earth's defense. Otherwise, if they were to directly endure this speed, their bodies would probably split apart. Since they couldn't see the situation outside, Lin Xian and the others didn't continue to look. According to He Tu, this high-speed flight should take about a year to reach the true Tianwu continent. This seemed like a long time, but it was already very fast. If it were anyone else, they wouldn't be able to reach it. Below the Venerable Realm, they probably wouldn't be able to reach it in their lifetime. Even kings wouldn't be able to reach it without dozens or hundreds of years. One could imagine how vast this endless sea was. Fortunately, he had the Black Earth. Otherwise, Lin Xian might not be able to leave the Tianwu continent for the rest of his life. Since he had a year's time, Lin Xian couldn't waste it. Apart from spending time with Murong Qingcheng and Shun Jingqiu, he used the rest of his time to cultivate. Murong Qingcheng and Shun Jingqiu were very obedient. They knew that Lin Xian had many close female friends, so they didn't plan on monopolizing them. Therefore, the relationship between the two was very good. Murong Qingcheng treated Shun Jingqiu like a sister. Lin Xian heaved a sigh of relief about the relationship between the two. Fortunately, they had a good relationship. Otherwise, he would have a headache. Damn. Kid, 2 beautiful characters have been taken by you. Does it feel good? The Crimson Dragon laughed strangely. Hee. Lin Xian rolled his eyes at him. I remember there's a girl called Zhao Shui. Looks like it won't be a problem for her to join us. Ayaya, 3 stunning beauties. Just thinking about it makes me envious. The Crimson Dragon shook his head. Lin Xian kicked him. Are you itching for a beating? Damn. Kid, you dare to plot against me? Come. Ben Huang will teach you how to behave. In fact, the Crimson Dragon was too bored, so he would find Lin Xian to spar every few days. Of course, they were just sparring. The resources on the Black Earth were abundant and were enough for everyone to cultivate. Among them, Murong Qingcheng, Shun Jingqiu, and Luo Bingshan's cultivation was guided by He Tu's day. According to He Tu, it was not impossible for them to become kings within a year. The Crimson Dragon's main goal was to recover all of his strength. After Lin Xian entered the king realm, he had mastered the Furious Dragon Mantra and the Heavenly Divination Technique. Now that he was cultivating these techniques, there was no longer any effect. Moreover, according to He Tu, although the techniques he cultivated were all Earth-rank techniques, they were all low-grade Earth-rank techniques. Earth-rank techniques were also divided into 4 grades: high, medium, low, and peak. Low-grade techniques were the most common. For martial artists below the king realm, their power could be said to be divine. However, low-grade Earth rank cultivation techniques were truly too ordinary to king realm martial artists. Generally, those with strength would cultivate mid-grade Earth rank or high-grade Earth rank techniques. As for top-grade Earth rank techniques, they were extremely rare. Only some of the top clans had them. On the Martial Sky continent, the top clan was the House of Kings. However, in the quintessential world, they were not kings. Although they were powerful, they were not ranked. The top clans in the quintessential world were the various sacred grounds and the clans of the ancients. These sacred grounds and clans were extremely powerful, and many of them had produced emperors. As for the rest, even if they had not, they had been passed down for hundreds of thousands of years, and their foundations were extremely terrifying. It was absolutely not something that Lin Xian could imagine. The quintessential world was divided into 5 continents, and each continent had its own clans of the ancients and peerless sacred grounds. They were the true rulers of the quintessential world. The Danzong that Lin Xian was going to this time was not a peerless sacred ground, but a subsidiary sect of the peerless sacred ground. However, its strength was also extremely terrifying and unimaginable. It was absolutely not something that the House of Kings on the Martial Sky continent could compare to. Lin Xian was extremely excited when he heard the news. He knew that that was the true great world, where geniuses were numerous and countless experts. Cultivation techniques, secret manuals, and natural treasures were even more maddening. On the other hand, he wanted to carve out a world that belonged to him in this great world. Chapter 1500, Great Emperor. Lin Xian took a deep breath as his eyes burst out with resplendent light. As long as one was a martial artist, there was no one who didn't want to become a great emperor. This was also Lin Xian's goal. Suppressing the excitement in his heart, Lin Xian began to cultivate. As the 4th-generation Dragon Sword inheritor's spirit ship, the Black Earth contained many martial arts manuals. These manuals were all Earth-rank martial arts, and the weakest was Earth-rank low rank. Many of them were Earth-rank mid-rank, and there were even Earth-rank high-rank martial arts. According to He Tu, there were Earth-rank top-rank martial arts, but they weren't here and had been destroyed. Sigh. He Tu sighed at this point. The 4th-generation Dragon Sword inheritor was too young. It could be said that he was assassinated just as he revealed his talent. This also sounded an alarm for Lin Xian. He knew that once the secret of the great Dragon Sword soul was exposed, he would be pursued endlessly. Earth-rank martial arts were extremely terrifying, but they were also very difficult to cultivate. Especially Earth-rank, mid-rank, and high-rank martial arts, they were even more difficult and bitter. Therefore, Lin Xian knew that he shouldn't bite off more than he could chew. When choosing martial arts, he was even more careful. In terms of body, Lin Xian found that the longevity incantation was already sufficient, and he didn't need to use other martial arts. Therefore, Lin Xian only needed to choose between attack and soul power. Among them, there was an Earth-rank martial art, Myriad Sword Arts. Lin Xian liked it very much, because he found that this Myriad Sword Arts could be used together with his Dragon Sword domain to display an extremely powerful battle strength. This myriad sword arts was divided into 3 levels, and the 3rd level was great success. In addition to attack power, there was also soul power as well as other secret arts. It could be said that the martial arts here were very complete, and it was enough for Lin Xian to cultivate. And Lin Xian was like a sponge, rapidly absorbing them. Just like this, he began his king realm cultivation. The black earth was like a shooting star flying in the boundless sea. Time slowly passed, and in the blink of an eye, a year had passed. Kid, there's still a month or so before we reach the real, true spirit continent. On this day, news came from Hey Tuesday. Are we almost there? Lin Xian opened his eyes from his cultivation. He could not help but feel excited again. However, at this moment, there was a sudden tremor, and the entire black earth shook. What happened? Lin Xian asked with a frown. Damn it, someone's attacking us, Hey Tu quickly said. Soon after, the surrounding walls flickered, revealing the situation outside. After the previous tremors, the black earth had slowed down. Around them, there were 5 huge spirit boats. 4 of them were around them, blocking their way. The 5th person was a burly man standing on the spirit boat right in front of them. What's going on? Lin Xian frowned. F*CK. It's actually pirates. Hey Tu's voice was heavy. I wonder how strong they are. Pirates? Lin Xian's frown deepened. Naturally, he knew what pirates meant. They were definitely some powerful martial artists who robbed the passing spirit boats. However, he did not expect that he would encounter them. The people inside, listen up, hurry up and come out for inspection. Otherwise, don't blame me for destroying your spirit boat. An extremely arrogant voice sounded. At this moment, Morong Qingsheng and the other 2 also arrived. What do we do? The 3 of them looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian, on the other hand, was gloomy. He asked, Hey Tu, is this spirit boat sturdy? Don't worry, this black earth is definitely beyond your imagination. The other party will definitely not be able to destroy it. Hey Tu was very confident about this. All right, let's drive over and destroy their spirit boat. Lin Xian said, All right, very violent. I like it. Hey Tu quickly flew and continued to control the spirit boat. In front, there were countless people standing on the spirit boat. The person at the front was a burly man with many martial artists beside him. They were all 1-star kings. As for the burly man, his aura was even more powerful. He had actually reached 2-star king realm. This kind of cultivation was enough to sweep through the entire Tianwu continent. However, they did not expect that there would only be a pirate leader here. From this, one could imagine how developed the martial Tao in the quintessential world was. At this moment, a skinny man beside him said, Boss, looking at the appearance of that spirit boat, it should be a big fat sheep. The burly man also smiled sinisterly. This spirit boat is not bad. I like it. Later, let's see who is on it. If they are weak, just kill them. Everything they have is mine. Don't worry, boss. We know what to do. The kings beside us all laughed. They were not rookies. They had been pirates here for a long time. Therefore, it was very easy to do these things. However, the skinny man soon frowned. This was because he realized that the spirit boat in front of them did not stop as expected. Instead, it flickered with an incomparably terrifying light. He's trying to escape. Humph, it's just a spirit boat. You want to escape from me? You're courting death. Order everyone to attack. The burly man's face darkened as he quickly gave the order. Immediately, the surrounding 4 spirit boats flickered with light and rapidly shot out beams of resplendent light. These light beams were extremely terrifying and contained extremely powerful energy. A 1-star king would not be able to resist them at all. Even a 2-star king would be threatened. However, at this moment, the black earth was moving at an extremely fast speed. It dodged the 4 pillars of light in an instant and continued to fly forward. What? He dodged them? So fast. The kings were shocked. They did not expect this to happen. The burly man's face was extremely gloomy because he realized that the other party was actually flying towards him. You dare to charge towards me? You're courting death. The burly man sneered and then said, "Order everyone to attack and destroy this spirit boat." He was too angry. He had been a pirate for so many years, but he had never encountered such a situation. But now someone actually dared to provoke him. He was courting death. Soon, the spirit boat under his feet slashed out a huge beam of light. It was like a heavenly blade that ruthlessly slashed forward. Suddenly, the void cracked and airwaves rolled. The sky and sea were split open, creating a vacuum. This attack was too powerful and fast. In the blink of an eye, it enveloped the black earth. Suddenly, an earth-shattering collision sound was heard. It was like a sudden clap of thunder. The burly man sneered. "Humph! How dare you go against me? This is your fate." Before he finished laughing, he suddenly froze. His face froze and his pupils dilated, as if he had seen a ghost. This was because he saw a beam of light rushing towards him from the explosion of energy in front of him. It was the spirit boat from before. Chapter 15:01. What? Impossible! How is this possible? The burly man was shocked, and the pirates behind him were all stunned. Not only was the other party undamaged, but it was also completely unscathed. They couldn't believe it. Damn it, what kind of spiritual boat is this? How can it be so powerful? The group's faces were gloomy, but soon they screamed, because the spiritual boat was rapidly charging towards them. "Retreat, quickly retreat." The burly man roared crazily, while the other pirates felt their scalps go numb as they desperately ran to the sides. Boom! In the next moment, an earth-shattering sound rang out. The black earth crashed into the spiritual boat in front of it, causing an earth-shattering tremor as countless shockwaves rolled out. The spiritual boat in front of it was smashed into pieces by the black earth. As for the pirates on the spiritual boat, they were directly turned into a bloody mist. The burly man and the other kings escaped rather quickly, so they weren't knocked down. However, the energy storm from the explosion still sent them flying. Whoosh! Several of them vomited blood, their faces pale. The black earth didn't stop at all. Like a meteor, it quickly flew into the distance. Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! What kind of spiritual boat is that? The group of people roared crazily, extremely shocked. They had been pirates for so many years, but they had never seen such a powerful method. Inside the black earth snorted in disdain. "Humph! A bunch of pirates dare to rob me? If I wasn't worried about the lack of energy, I would have killed them with one blast." Lin Xian and the others also breathed a sigh of relief. Fortunately, the black earth was incomparably powerful. Otherwise, it would have been troublesome for him to take action. This was only the beginning. After this, they encountered several more waves of pirates. However, the black earth was still charging forward in an extremely valiant manner. Anyone who dared to intercept was directly smashed and sent flying. Just like that, Lin Xian and the others quickly flew and finally arrived at the quintessential world. Finally, after a year and a month of flying, Lin Xian and the others finally arrived at the quintessential world. The quintessential world was divided into 5 major regions: Eastern Wilderness, Western Desert, Southern Ridge, Northern Plains, and Central Region. Lin Xian and the others had arrived at the Eastern Wasteland. This continent was extremely large, countless times the size of the Sky Marshall continent. In fact, in the eyes of the people of the Eastern continent, their Sky Marshall continent was called the Sky Marshall Island. On the sea, there were several tens of islands similar to the Sky Marshall Island. It had to be said that this world was truly too mystical. In the eastern wilderness, there were countless forces, including empires, sects, sacred grounds, and worlds. Home as for Lin Xian and the others, they were currently approaching one of these empires, the De Xian Empire. This empire was terrifying. Although it wasn't at the level of a holy land or a clan of the ancients, it was still formidable. It was said that the king of the great Xian Empire was an invincible king. He was invincible in the king realm. On the other hand, the clan of the ancients and the peerless sacred grounds had saints. In fact, some of the powers that had produced great emperors before would possess imperial armaments and terrifying foundations. That sort of strength was truly unimaginable. However, all of this was still very far away from Lin Xian. At this moment, they were still within the borders of the great Xian Empire. However, as soon as they reached the shore, Lin Xian and the others put away the spirit boat. This was because there was a huge stone tablet erected by the coast. It was clearly written on it that once one entered the empire, flying with spirit boats was forbidden. Ordinary kings didn't dare to violate this rule at all. Of course, if one was an invincible king or had surpassed the invincible king level, they could naturally ignore it. Lin Xian hadn't reached this level yet, so they stopped and put away the spirit boat before entering the great Xian Empire. However, just putting away the spiritual state wasn't enough. They still had to pay a fee. The coastline was heavily guarded by soldiers. The weakest of these soldiers were at least 8th or 9th heaven of the venerable realm. There were even many half-step kings. These were just ordinary soldiers. Some of the leaders were 1-star and 2-star kings. There were even more terrifying existences. Moreover, there were so many of these kings that almost no one dared to behave atrociously here. Looking at the armored soldiers, Lin Xian, Murong Qingcheng, and the others exclaimed, "Powerful! They were simply too powerful!" On the Sky Martial continent, kings were the pinnacle of overlords. However, here they were merely pirate leaders. One could imagine how powerful this world was. Taking a deep breath, Lin Xian and the others walked forward. The fee was very simple. It was calculated based on the number of people, 1 subdivine crystal per person. On the way here, Lin Xian had already learned that the currency used in the true spirit world was subdivine crystals. There were also spirit stones here, but they were definitely more ordinary. However, they could be exchanged with subdivine crystals. The exchange rate was that 1 subdivine crystal was equal to 100 high-grade spirit stones. Lin Xian didn't have many high-grade spirit stones, but Lin Xian still had some subdivine crystals. Therefore, he could afford to pay these expenses. Soon, the group walked up. The array scanning included the demonic beasts in the storage bags. Therefore, Lin Xian and the others spent a total of 6 subdivine crystals. After paying, they were just about to leave when a hurried sound came from behind. Then, a red spirit boat quickly flew over. The spirit boat was engraved with runes that flickered with cold light. It even emitted an extremely powerful aura. Everyone looked up at the sky. Many people even whispered to each other. Their eyes were filled with shock and envy. Needless to say, the spirit boat's grade was definitely extraordinary. At this moment, the spirit boat flickered with light, and a few figures quickly descended. The first to descend was a young man in a golden robe. He had short hair and a round face. When he smiled, he looked like a Maitreya Buddha. Behind him, 3 figures also descended quickly. They were 3 middle-aged men in black armor. They were expressionless. However, from their auras, one could tell that they were 2-star kings. Judging from their appearance and demeanor, they seemed to be the golden-robed young man's bodyguards. Damn! Using 2-star kings as bodyguards. How extravagant! Lin Xian, Murong Qingcheng, and the others were shocked. It seemed that he should be a disciple of a large family. Once the golden-robed young man landed, he looked around. Then he saw Lin Xian and the others. When he saw the three beauties beside Lin Xian, Murong Qingcheng, Shen Jingqiu, and Luo Bingshan, he was stunned. He did not expect three stunning beauties to gather around a young man. This shocked him. However, he soon shifted his gaze and stared at a snow-white monkey and a crimson dragon. Oh my God! Are my eyes playing tricks on me? These are supreme-grade spirit beasts. Although the golden-robed young man was fat, he was not slow at all. He quickly came to Lin Xian's side and stared at the crimson dragon and the snow-white monkey while drooling. It was as if he had seen beauties. However, the beauties were Murong Qingcheng and the other two. When the surrounding people saw this, they could not help but break out in cold sweat. Chapter 1502. Top quality. Truly top quality. This four-legged snake probably has the bloodline of the dragon race. And this little white monkey, its aura is very strange. Even I can't see through it. Brother, where did you get these two spirit beasts? Why don't you just buy them for me? Damn. The corner of Lin Xian's mouth twitched. He hadn't thought that this golden-robed fatty in front of him would have taken a fancy to the crimson dragon and the little white monkey. F***CK. Damn fatty. Ben Huang really wants to kick you. The crimson dragon said, through gritted teeth. Oh. The little white monkey was also in a bad mood. It waved its little paws and wanted to pounce. Fortunately, Lin Xian held it back. Sorry, they are my companions, not pets. So don't talk about buying or selling. Lin Xian said coldly, then turned to leave. Brother, if you don't want to sell, then don't sell. Let's talk things over. At least make friends. The golden-robed fatty didn't bully others with his power, but instead walked over with a grin. My surname is Luo. I'm Luo Zheng. Fatty Luo said with a grin, How should I address you? Brother? Where are you from? Lin Xian, from outside. Outside? Are you from one of those islands? Luo Zheng was surprised. The surrounding martial practitioners and guards were also surprised because they knew that very few people could break into those islands. They hadn't thought that this group of people in front of them would be from those islands. Luo Zheng was also surprised, but didn't ask in detail. There were more than 10 islands in the surrounding area, and he might not be able to name them. What he was truly interested in were these two spirit beasts, so he hurried over. Brother, why don't we go together? I'm also going to the Xian Empire. Sure. Lin Xian saw that the other party didn't have any bad intentions and nodded. He just happened to want to find someone to ask about Danzong. Fatty Luo should be a young master of an aristocratic family and should know about Danzong. Great. Seeing that Lin Xian had agreed, Fatty Luo clapped his hands in delight. Then he said, How about this? There's a city nearby. Let's go there and talk while we eat. Along the way, Fatty Luo kept trying to get close to Lin Xian. Their team also attracted the attention of the crowd. Murong Qingcheng, Shen Jingqiu, and Luo Bingshan were simply too beautiful. It was rare for them to see such a beauty. Moreover, from what they knew, such people should be in the hands of peerless experts. Or perhaps he himself was a peerless expert. But now, these three women were probably only one-star king realm cultivators. Moreover, the young man beside them was also a one-star king realm cultivator. He was pitifully weak. There were even a few cultivators who had secretly followed them from the shore. This was because they had already heard that Lin Xian had come from a distant island and had no background at all. Even if such a person was killed, it probably wouldn't attract much attention. When the time comes to kill that brat, these three beauties will be theirs. However, they didn't dare to make a move. This was because Fatty Luo was beside Lin Xian. Fatty Luo's cultivation couldn't be seen clearly, and the three bodyguards beside him were all two-star kings. When the three of them worked together, they were extremely powerful. Therefore, the people behind them only followed from afar, not daring to make a move at all. However, they didn't give up. This was because they knew that the two of them would eventually separate, and that would be the time for them to make a move. Up ahead, Lin Xian frowned. He could naturally sense the people following behind them. Sneering coldly in his heart, he ignored them. When he first came here, he didn't want to cause too much trouble. However, if those people behind them were really blind and dared to provoke him, he didn't mind sending them on their way. Up ahead, there was a huge city that was many times larger than any city on the Tianwu continent. After entering the city, Lin Xian discovered that not everyone here was a king realm cultivator. Kings were also experts in the Xian Empire. Other than that, there were even more venerables. This made Lin Xian breathe a sigh of relief. It seemed that his situation wasn't too bad. At least he wasn't at the bottom and should be considered a middle-level cultivator. Actually, this was very normal. The population of the true spirit world far exceeded that of the Tianwu continent, so there were more kings here. However, king realm cultivators were extremely powerful, so those who could become kings were all experts, and because the population base was large, there were even more people below the king realm, and venerables could be seen everywhere. De Fong Restaurant. The arrival of Lin Xian's group attracted the attention of the entire restaurant, especially those cultivators. Their gazes were all on Murong Qingqing's group. Murong Qingqing's group had cold faces, not saying a word, and Lin Xian also narrowed his eyes. With a cold snort, Lin Xian's body faintly emitted a terrifying aura. The sword intent was formless, but incomparably sharp. The moment it appeared, it caused the atmosphere in the restaurant to suddenly drop, and everyone inexplicably trembled. Immediately, many people withdrew their gazes, their hearts filled with shock. However, they didn't think that this aura was emitted by Lin Xian. They thought that it was emitted by the golden-robed fatty beside him and the 3 two-star kings behind him. But no matter what, at least no one dared to look so arrogantly. This restaurant had a total of 3 floors. The hall on the first floor was the largest, and there were hundreds of tables of cultivators sitting inside. Among them, there were a few 1-star kings, but most of them were venerables. However, he didn't see any 2-star kings. Lin Xian was slightly surprised, but he didn't ask anything. Instead, he came to an empty table, and the group sat down. Brother, let me tell you, this restaurant is extraordinary. There's a very magical soup here. You'll know in a while. Fatty Luo had a mysterious expression. He instructed a black-clothed bodyguard behind him to order the first 7 dishes. Not long after, a few beautiful maids served some food. Lin Xian looked at the exquisite jade bowl in front of him and was greatly surprised because there was a soup inside that emitted a rich fragrance. Not only him, but Murong Qingqing and the others were also surprised. Meanwhile, Fatty Luo said with a smile, "Brother, try it." "Okay." Lin Xian nodded. This was the first time he had seen such a delicious soup, so he quickly drank a big mouthful. The taste was very good, but as soon as he drank a mouthful, he felt a wave of heat spread out from his body. It was as if he wasn't drinking soup, but an extremely terrifying flame. The heat wave became stronger and stronger, crazily colliding in his body as if it was about to explode. "What's going on?" Lin Xian frowned. On the side, Crimson Dragon, Murong Qingqing, and the others also put down the bowls and chopsticks in their hands and looked at Fatty Luo with uncertain expressions. Fatty Luo smiled bitterly. "F***, brother, who told you to eat so much? This is called 4-beast soup. It's made from 4 king beasts. The energy inside is very terrifying. Even kings would take small sips of it. It's my fault. I didn't explain it clearly," Fatty Luo said apologetically. However, at this moment, a disdainful sneer came from the side. "Sigh, what an idiot. How dare he drink such a big mouthful? Humph, he hasn't even heard of four beasts soup. Is this guy a country bumpkin? A country bumpkin actually has three stunning beauties? It's really like putting flowers on cow dung. Chapter 1503. A few disdainful sneers sounded, their voices filled with provocation. The sneers came from a few one-star kings. They'd thought that Lin Xian was a young master from some large family, which explained why he had three beauties despite his low cultivation. But now, it seemed that this was simply impossible, because all the young masters of the great Xian Empire knew about the four-beast soup, but this young man before them didn't know anything about it. Obviously, he came from the countryside. They wouldn't care about such a person with the cultivation of a one-star king. Lin Xian frowned, and a cold light flashed in his eyes. Along the way, he'd felt many greedy gazes. Obviously, it was because his cultivation was low. If he was an unparalleled expert, these people probably wouldn't even dare to look at him. Although Lin Xian was only a one-star king, this year of cultivation had caused his strength to skyrocket. Now, two-star kings were no match for him. Even three-star kings might not be able to defeat him. The great dragon sword soul was an offensive Saint Art. Now that Lin Xian had entered the king realm, he could even unleash the terrifying power of the great dragon sword soul. So, he planned to display his strength to intimidate these people. Otherwise, these people would fly around him like flies, and he'd be tired of them. The corners of Lin Xian's mouth curled up into a smile as he circulated the art of longevity within his body, quickly absorbing the violent energy. In an instant, the heat on his body disappeared, and even his originally red skin returned to normal. What? He's fine? How is this possible? Everyone's eyes widened in disbelief. They had been paying attention to Lin Xian all this time, especially the few one-star king tiers who were looking at him coldly. This was because the four-beast soup was made with four kinds of demonic beasts. Its energy was extremely terrifying. If too much was used, one's body would probably explode. One-star kings couldn't withstand that energy at all. In their opinion, Lin Xian wouldn't be able to escape such an outcome. But they didn't expect that in the blink of an eye, the heat on his body had completely disappeared. They didn't dare to believe it. Damn it, how did he do it? The group of people were shocked, and those king tiers who were sneering also had gloomy expressions as they gnashed their teeth. This was completely different from what they had imagined. On the side, Fatty Luo was also speechless. Then he said with a grin, "Brother, you're really something." Lin Xian also smiled and said, "The soup is not bad. It's delicious." Finally, he picked it up and wanted to drink it again. But at this moment, another group of people walked in from the door. As soon as these people appeared, the originally noisy hall immediately quieted down. That was because the auras of these people were too powerful. They were surrounded by a monstrous killing intent. They were like killing gods. The person in the lead was a tall and sturdy man. His face was ferocious, and his cultivation was even more powerful. He was a two-star king. There were many one-star kings and ninth-level venerables behind him. Damn, the Iron Fist pirates, why are they here? Everyone screamed when they saw this group of people. Many of them trembled and almost knelt on the ground. Pirates were extremely terrifying. They specialized in robbing and killing passing spirit boats. The Iron Fist pirates were one of the more famous pirates. The appearance of this group of people caused the atmosphere in the hall to become extremely heavy. Lin Xian, the Crimson Dragon, and the others also frowned. This was because they realized that the people who had appeared were the pirates who had intercepted them previously. They had not expected that the other party would actually appear here. "Kid, what should we do? Should we attack?" the Crimson Dragon asked. Lin Xian shook his head slightly. "Don't be anxious. Let's observe the situation first." Although Lin Xian's side did not attack, the expressions of the Iron Fist pirates changed drastically when they entered. This was especially so for their leader, the tall and sturdy Iron Fist. He stared at Lin Xian. "It's you. It's actually you." He looked at Lin Xian, his voice trembling as his killing intent surged. Although he had never seen Lin Xian before, he could sense the aura of the Black Earth on Lin Xian's body. They clearly remembered the Black Earth because it was the one who had destroyed all their spirit boats. It had even killed many of their brothers. Now that he saw Lin Xian, his eyes turned red. However, he quickly revealed a sinister smile. This was because he realized that the cultivation of Lin Xian and the others was pitifully weak. One-star kings, they were actually only one-star kings. Other than the golden-robed fatty and the 3 bodyguards behind him, the rest were only one-star kings. This kind of strength could not withstand a single blow from him. In particular, there were 3 peerless beauties beside Lin Xian, causing him to drool. "Ha ha! The heavens are really helping me. Kid, you dared to crash my spirit boat. Today will be the day you die." The tall and sturdy man laughed sinisterly. The voices of the pirates behind him were also sinister. "What beautiful girls! I've struck gold. There are probably only a few of these beauties in the entire Great Xian Empire. Who would have thought that we would encounter them? Ha, kid, you're dead meat. I advise you to kneel on the ground obediently. Perhaps I can give you a quick death. Otherwise, I'll make you regret being born into this world." Sinister voices rang out, causing the expressions of everyone in the hall to change. What? That country bumpkin actually provoked the Iron Fist pirate ship? He's dead meat. He's definitely dead meat. Sigh, he's indeed a country bumpkin. Everyone shook their heads and sighed. The few one-star kings who had been sneering earlier were sneering even more. However, it was a pity that these beauties belonged to the Iron Fist pirate ship. At this moment, the golden-robed fatty also frowned. "Brother, how did you provoke the Iron Fist pirate ship? They are a group of ruthless people. However, it's fate that brought us together. How about it? Do you need my help?" "No need. Thank you for your kind intentions, Brother Luo. I can handle this small matter." Lin Xian smiled and shook his head. "What?" Hearing this, everyone felt their scalps go numb. Dealing with the Iron Fist pirate ship was a small matter? Oh heavens, does he even have a brain? Not to mention the surrounding cultivators, even Fatty Luo and the 3 2-star bodyguards behind him were stunned. This was because they could clearly sense that Lin Xian's cultivation was only that of a 1-star king. As for the Iron Fist pirate ship, just the captain alone was a 2-star king. In addition, there were 7 or 8 1-star kings behind him. This kind of strength was extremely powerful. In the entire hall, perhaps only the 3 2-star kings behind Fatty Luo could contend against them. However, Lin Xian said that this was a small matter. Where did he get his confidence from? Fatty Luo still wanted to persuade him, but the Iron Fist pirate ship opposite him suddenly burst out laughing. What did he say? "Deal with us? Ha ha! What a joke!" "Brat, do you know who you're talking to? What an idiot. He's dead meat. He's definitely dead meat. Boss, let me deal with him." At this moment, a middle-aged man beside the burly man laughed sinisterly. Chapter 1504. Boss, let me deal with him. At this moment, a middle-aged man beside the burly man said with a sinister smile, "All right, be careful. Don't kill him all of a sudden. That won't be fun." The members of the Iron Fist pirates were joking around, completely disregarding Lin Xian and the others. On the opposite side, Lin Xian was calm and collected. The Crimson Dragon beside him gritted his teeth, itching to go up and attack. However, Morong Qingcheng and the others were a little nervous. After all, this was the first time they had seen so many kings, especially the burly man. His aura was even more terrifying than their old ancestors. Such a person could destroy the entire Tianmu continent. Therefore, they could not help but be nervous. On the opposite side, the middle-aged man received the order and took a step forward. His aura quickly condensed. He was a one-star king, and he was one of the stronger ones. Although the middle-aged man looked ordinary, his aura was abnormally terrifying. He was like a god of war, who had descended from the 9 heavens, emitting a powerful aura. "Kid, let me teach you how to behave." The middle-aged man sneered. Then his figure flashed, and he appeared in front of Lin Xian. His 5 fingers formed a claw and quickly grabbed Lin Xian's head. The middle-aged man's attack was very spiritual. His palm was like a 5-fingered mountain, resounding through the void and blooming with bright light. If this palm was used, Lin Xian would be crippled even if he did not die. In the entire hall, everyone shook their heads and sighed. However, in the next moment, everyone was stunned, because the scene of blood splattering out as they had imagined did not happen. In fact, the resplendent light from the palm was also rapidly disappearing. Everyone looked carefully, and then their mouths fell open, because in front of them, the middle-aged man's palm was easily caught by Lin Xian. What? He caught it? How is this possible? Everyone was shocked and could not believe it. The Iron Fist pirates also frowned. It was obvious that Lin Xian's strength was beyond their expectations. The middle-aged man's pupils shrank. He looked at Lin Xian in horror, as if he had seen a ghost. How is this possible? How is this possible? How is it possible for him to receive his attack so easily? Damn it, I don't believe it. I must have been careless just now. The middle-aged man roared ferociously. He wanted to withdraw his palm and attack again. However, he realized that he couldn't do it at all. Because his hand was firmly grasped by Lin Xian, he couldn't move at all. What? Such strength! Damn it, get out of my way! The middle-aged man roared as his body exploded with a resplendent light. A massive amount of power surged towards his opponent's palm. Even if it was a giant mountain, it would still crumble. However, Lin Xian's palm remained unchanged. Kill me with a single palm? Disdain for me? This is your strength. Lin Xian sneered, his eyes emitting a cold light. Then he exerted a little force in his palm, and the middle-aged man in front of him immediately screamed. Hearing this voice, everyone felt their scalps go numb. They didn't expect Lin Xian to be so strong. Even Fatty Luo and the 3 2-star bodyguards behind him were greatly astonished. The middle-aged man's expression was hideous. It was too painful. His wrist couldn't take it at all if the other party exerted a little force. However, as a member of the Iron Fist pirate crew, he couldn't beg for mercy in front of so many people, so he could only grit his teeth and speak. Break it if you have the guts, or else I'll definitely kill you. Kid, let me go if you know what's good for you. Offending our pirate crew won't let you live. Although Lin Xian had subdued him, the middle-aged man was still incomparably arrogant. However, Lin Xian turned his head and asked, "Brother Luo, if I kill these people, will it affect you?" Fatty Luo stared blankly for a moment, then understood that Lin Xian was thinking for him. Then he chuckled and said, "Brother, feel free to attack. There's no one in the entire empire of Dexian that I'm afraid of." What arrogance! Lin Xian was slightly astonished. It seemed that this Fatty Luo's identity was definitely not simple. However, this was even better. He wouldn't have any more misgivings. In the next moment, he turned his head and stared at the middle-aged man again, a trace of killing intent appearing in his eyes. "What do you want to do?" The middle-aged man trembled under the gaze of this gaze. Crack! The sound of bones breaking rang out, and the middle-aged man let out a blood-curdling scream. This was because his entire arm had been broken by Lin Xian. Everyone was shocked, and their scalps went numb. They didn't think that Lin Xian would really dare to attack. The people of the Iron Fist pirate crew were even more furious, and they roared, "You're courting death!" Soon, 3 one-star kings charged towards Lin Xian. On the other hand, Lin Xian threw out a punch and sent the middle-aged man flying. Then he shouted, "Scram! Poo-pew-pew!" The 3 one-star kings trembled, as if they had been struck by lightning. They spat out large mouthfuls of blood and were sent flying. Shocked. Everyone was shocked. They didn't think that Lin Xian would injure 3 one-star kings with a single sound. Isn't this strength a little too terrifying? Damn it, who is this brat? How can he have such powerful battle prowess? He hid his strength. Otherwise, it's impossible for him to be so powerful. Everyone was extremely shocked. They realized that they had underestimated this youth. Injuring 3 one-star kings with a single sound was definitely not something that a 1-star king could do. This was at least the strength of a 2-star king. Damn it, we've been deceived. This brat's strength still surpasses 1-star kings. On the opposite side, the people of the Iron Fist pirate crew had sinister expressions, especially the burly man, whose face was even gloomier. "Brat, you've indeed exceeded my expectations. However, do you think you can defeat us like this? You're too naive. Today, I'll show you my strength." The burly man shouted coldly, and silver light appeared on his fists. He was a 2-star king, and his strength was extremely powerful. He was very close to the middle stage of the 2-star king realm. With a roar, the burly man punched out with both fists. They were like silver demonic beasts flickering in the air. Not good. The Iron Fist pirate crew has attacked. Although this Iron Fist is arrogant and has killed countless people, his strength is incomparably terrifying. Especially his fists, they're even more powerful. Yeah, he should be practicing the 100-crack fist. Judging from his aura, I'm afraid that no one in the early stage of the 2-star king realm is his match. I wonder how that brat is doing. Can he take it? Impossible. Although that brat has the battle prowess of a 2-star king, he's at most in the early stage of the 2-star king realm. After all, he's still young. I'm afraid he won't be able to block the Iron Fist at all. Everyone was discussing quickly. However, at this moment, the Iron Fist's fists were already flying toward Lin Shui. The entire void trembled as an extremely powerful force ruthlessly rushed toward Lin Xian. This was the power of a 2-star king. Moreover, the silver light contained an explosive aura. It was extremely terrifying. However, Lin Xian didn't care. He stretched out his hand and grabbed forward. What? He's actually resisting with his bare hands. Does he want to die? When everyone saw this scene, their scalps went numb. The Iron Fist roared, "Humph, he's really courting death." He was very confident in his fist technique. His opponent definitely wouldn't be able to block it. Chapter 15:05. Boom. The next moment, a deep sound was heard. The entire void cracked open, and a violent aura blew at everyone. The kings were still fine, but the supremacies were even bleeding from their ears and trembling. This punch was too terrifying. However, Iron Fist widened his eyes in disbelief. His body was even trembling slightly. This was because his punch was easily blocked by the other party. Green sword chi circled around the palm. Although it was calm, it was like a huge mountain in front of him. No matter how hard he tried, he could not break it. Iron Fist pirate team? 2-star kings? How arrogant. But I'm curious. Is this what gives you the right to be arrogant in front of me? You're so weak. Lin Xian sneered. What? He blocked it. He actually blocked Iron Fist's attack. How is this possible? Heavens, I'm not dreaming. Am I? At this moment, everyone was shocked and trembling, especially the people of Iron Fist pirate team. They looked at Lin Xian with a trace of fear. It couldn't be helped. This was too shocking. One had to know that Iron Fist was their leader and a 2-star king. His strength was incomparably terrifying. Moreover, they had been killing all year round and had monstrous killing intent. Ordinary kings were not their match at all. But now a young man in his 20s had actually blocked Iron Fist's attack, and he seemed to be doing it very easily. This was something they did not dare to imagine. Lin Xian sneered and gently waved his palm forward. Immediately, the cyan sword qi on his palm rapidly surged, transforming into numerous sharp swords that pierced towards the burly man. Iron Fist's scalp went numb because he could feel the power contained in the green sword qi. It was enough to cut his body open. Damn it, this is impossible. Who is he? How can he have such powerful combat strength? He was simply too shocked. His entire body retreated rapidly like a mountain, moving rapidly in the void. At the same time, countless silver lights condensed on his body, forming a Silver King's domain that completely enveloped him. He's attacking, he's going all out. Everyone cried out in shock because they realized that Iron Fist had already used his king's domain. He was definitely going all out. However, the cyan sword ray flickered and slashed down rapidly, instantly slicing apart the silver domain. Bang, bang, a low and deep voice sounded. Iron Fist seemed to have suffered a heavy blow, and his body kept retreating. There were several sword scars on his body. They were extremely terrifying, and in some places, white bones could be seen. Heavily injured. He had been heavily injured by his opponent in an instant. This was simply too terrifying. Everyone was dumbfounded when they saw this scene. This was especially true for the members of the Iron Fist pirate group. Their bodies began to tremble as they watched this scene in horror. Impossible! How is this possible? How could Commander lose? Damn it! Who is this kid? How can he be so powerful? At this moment, everyone was terrified. As for the burly man, he struggled to stand up and quickly took out some medicinal pills to stop the injuries on his body. Then he said fiercely, "Good boy, I'll remember you. However, this matter isn't over yet. Let's wait and see." With a cold snort, the burly man was supported by several kings and was about to leave. However, at this moment, Lin Xian sneered, "Stop right there. Did I say you could leave?" Hearing this, everyone felt their scalps go numb. However, the burly man and the others turned around abruptly. "What did you say? You dare to stop me?" The burly man's face was ferocious. "Kid, let me tell you, I'm from the Zhao family." "What? The Zhao family?" Everyone was shocked when they heard this. They didn't expect this pirate group to be from the Zhao family. Is the Zhao family very powerful? Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. "They're all right in the Dexian Empire. They can be considered a large force," Fatty Luo said slowly. "I see." Lin Xian nodded. At this moment, the burly man sneered again. "How is it, kid? Are you afraid now? Let me tell you, you're dead for daring to offend my Zhao family. Kneel down and kowtow to me now. Moreover, give me these 3 chicks, and I'll consider leaving your corpse intact. Otherwise, I'll make sure you die a horrible death. You talk too much." Lin Xian snorted. "I don't care which family you are. If you dare to cross my bottom line, then you'll have to pay the price. Break one of your arms, and I'll let you leave." Lin Xian's voice sounded. "What? Break one of your arms?" Hearing this, everyone was shocked and couldn't believe it. Iron Fist and the others had already revealed their identity as members of the Zhao family. That was an extremely powerful trump card. However, the other party was still unwilling to give up. Was he not afraid of the Zhao family's revenge? Or did he think that he could contend with the Zhao family? Break one of your arms? Kid, dream on. Just you wait. When I return to my family, it'll be the time of your death. Iron Fist sneered and turned to leave. Beside him, the pirates also sneered. It was obvious that they didn't take Lin Xian's warning to heart. Stubborn, Since it's like this, I can only do it myself. As soon as he finished speaking, Lin Xian's figure suddenly disappeared and rushed toward Iron Fist and the others. Kid, you're courting death. Seeing this, the burly man and the others were furious. The other party actually dared to attack. How dare he? With a roar, Iron Fist displayed a Silver King's domain. The other one-star kings also pulled out their swords and sabers. At the same time, kings' domains quickly formed around them. However, Lin Xian was like a ghost as he instantly appeared around them. What? So fast. Everyone was shocked. They didn't even see how Lin Xian appeared. Moreover, what was even more shocking was that Iron Fist and the other king's domains had no effect on Lin Xian. Crack. The sound of bones breaking was heard, followed by a few screams and blood spurting out. In the next moment, Iron Fist and the others were all sent flying. However, there were a few more arms on the ground. Iron Fist fell to the ground, holding his broken arm and roaring ferociously. Until now, he still couldn't believe that Lin Xian had really cut off his right arm. Not only him, but all the people he brought with him also had an arm cut off. How did Lin Xian do it? How could he ignore his Silver King's domain? Everyone looked at this scene and was so shocked that they couldn't even speak. Powerful. He was too powerful. He didn't give them any leeway at all. This is a lesson for you. If there's a next time, I'll kill you. Get out of here. Lin Xian turned around and walked into the restaurant. As for Iron Fist and the others, their faces were full of fear as they quickly left. Although they were mad and furious, they didn't dare to say anything because they were really afraid that Lin Xian would kill them. Lin Xian returned to the restaurant's main hall. For a moment, everyone was terrified, and the entire hall was silent. The few kings who had mocked Lin Xian before were now trembling. Chapter 1506. For a moment, everyone was terrified, and the entire hall was silent. As for the kings who had mocked Lin Xian before, their bodies were trembling. Fear. Incomparable fear. Previously, they thought that Lin Xian was a country bumpkin, so they mocked him. Moreover, they didn't think that Lin Xian was that powerful. But now, they realized that they were completely wrong. Although he was only a one-star king, his strength was even stronger than a two-star king. This was definitely a fierce person that they couldn't provoke. Therefore, the 3 one-star kings quickly got up and ran outside. They really didn't dare to stay here any longer. Seeing that the 3 were about to escape, Lin Xian lightly snorted. Immediately, their bodies stiffened, and their faces revealed expressions that were even uglier than crying. Great, great hero, spare us. We had eyes but failed to recognize Mao Tai. We have sinned before, so please be magnanimous and don't bother with us. Yes, we were wrong. We apologize. The 3 one-star kings were extremely humble, and they no longer had the arrogance from before. This was a very realistic world. If you didn't have power, you would be bullied, and mocked. If you displayed great power, you would immediately receive respect, status. This was the principle of the entire world, whether it was the Tianwu continent or the true spirit world. It was the same. You're wrong. I don't hold grudges because I usually take revenge on the spot. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. Spare us. Hearing this, the 3 cried and almost knelt down. Lin Xian picked up a bowl of 4-beast soup from the table and walked in front of the 3. I won't make things difficult for you. Each of you drink a big mouthful, and I'll let you leave. What? Drink a big mouthful? The 3 had the heart to die. This was the 4-beast soup, and its power was incomparably terrifying. If they drank a big mouthful, they definitely wouldn't be able to withstand the power. However, if they didn't drink it, the result would be even worse. Thinking of this, the 3 were so regretful that their intestines turned green. Why did they mock him before? Now, they had fallen to such a state. They deserved it. Bracing themselves, the three of them each drank a big mouthful of the four beasts' soup. Immediately, their skin turned red and a violent force rampaged through their bodies as if it was about to explode. Among them, the weaker one directly vomited blood. The other two had incomparably ugly expressions as they quickly suppressed the energy in their bodies. Then, the three of them struggled to walk out of the door. However, it didn't take long for the other two to suddenly spit out a mouthful of blood. Terrifying, too terrifying. The energy contained within was not something they could withstand. Indeed, if an ordinary one-star king ordered a bowl of four-beast soup, they would have to drink it for at least a day. If it was weaker, it would take 2 or 3 days to completely digest it. As for the three of them, they probably couldn't refine a third of the energy. Lin Xian shook his head. Isn't it just a mouthful of soup? Is there a need for this? How fragile. Hearing this, everyone felt their scalps go numb. In the next moment, they widened their eyes because Lin Xian picked up another bowl of four-beast soup and drank it in one gulp. Probably not even a 2-star king would dare to drink it in one gulp. Only a 3-star king would dare to do so. However, the young man in front of them was so bold as to directly drink the entire bowl. Lin Xian felt as if he wasn't drinking soup, but a volcano that was about to erupt. The aura in his body quickly boiled. With a loud laugh, Lin Xian quickly used the longevity incantation, displaying an extremely powerful absorption ability. Soon, the violent energy was completely refined by the longevity incantation and turned into his spiritual energy. So satisfying. Lin Xian felt a wave of comfort. Brother, you're so powerful. You're really good at hiding your strength. Even I was almost fooled by you. Fatty Luo was also surprised. Brother, where on earth are you from? Which island could have such a strong person like you? Why do I feel like you're a disciple from a sacred ground or a clan of the ancients? If you think so, then so be it. Lin Xian smiled. He wouldn't admit to any of his identities because the more fog around him, the safer he would be. Oh, right. Fatty Luo, tell me about Danzong. Lin Xian asked. Hearing this, the corners of Fatty Luo's mouth twitched. Brother, how do you know my nickname? Is it that hard to guess? I can tell just by looking at your face. Lin Xian shrugged. Fatty Luo wanted to cry but had no tears. The 3 bodyguards behind him also twitched their mouths, while Morong Qingcheng and the others covered their mouths and chuckled. This smile was like 100 flowers blooming, directly melting the frozen atmosphere. Everyone's eyes were fixed on him. However, this time they didn't dare to be impudent. They all sat upright and still looking straight ahead, not daring to look at Lin Xian. Seeing this scene, Morong Qingcheng and the others laughed loudly. They looked at Lin Xian with eyes full of tenderness. Fatty Luo asked, Brother, why do you want to know about Danzong? Don't tell me you have a grudge with Danzong too? No, you're thinking too much. I want to join Danzong, and I'm asking if you have a way. Join Danzong? Fatty Luo was stunned. Are you an alchemist? What? Don't I look like one? Lin Xian asked back. I really can't tell. Brother, if you really want to join Danzong, I do have a way. Let's hear it. This restaurant has 3 floors. The first floor is just an ordinary floor. Normally, powerful kings won't be here. They'll go to the second floor. There's a 3rd floor above this. That's a place only geniuses can go. Today, there's a small gathering on the 3rd floor, and there's a Danzong disciple among them. Do you want me to introduce you? There's a Danzong disciple on the 3rd floor. Hearing this, Lin Xian's eyes lit up. He didn't expect to meet someone from Danzong as soon as he arrived in the empire of Dexian. It seemed his luck wasn't bad. Okay, let's go take a look. Lin Xian didn't hesitate. He immediately stood up and led Murong Qingcheng and the others to the third floor with Fatty Luo. Brother, don't blame me for not reminding you. The third floor isn't a place ordinary people can enter. Either you have status or you have strength. What kind of strength? Lin Xian asked. You're at least a 2-star king. There might even be a 2-star king in the late stage. Hearing this, Lin Xian nodded. Although it was only a difference of a few words, the difference in strength was like heaven and earth, because the king realm was truly too terrifying. Every single bit of improvement caused a tremendous change in one's strength. It could be said that cultivators of the same level had vastly different strengths. Moreover, a 2-star king in the late stage was at least at the level of the heavenly netherbird. However, Lin Xian wasn't afraid. Chapter 1507. With He Tu's guidance, as well as the various resources and secret manuals on the Black Earth, his strength could be said to have improved by leaps and bounds in this year's cultivation. Now, he had an unimaginable number of secret techniques in his hands. Coupled with the Dragon Sword Soul's super strong battle strength, Lin Xian could now sweep through anyone below the level of a 3-star king. As for a 3-star king, he also had the power to fight. Therefore, even after hearing Fatty Luo's reminder, he didn't hesitate and directly walked up. More than half of the people on the second floor were gone, and even fewer people were on the third floor. It was silent, without a single shadow. Not only that, but there was also a cold middle-aged man standing on the stairs to the third floor. His figure was as tall as a mountain, blocking the path. That martial artist in black coldly glanced at Lin Xian, and the others then frowned. Those who have no business here, leave at once. The third floor isn't for you to go up. He naturally saw through the cultivation of Lin Xian and the others. They were only 1-star kings. They couldn't even go up to the second floor with this bit of strength, let alone the third floor. What a joke! How dare you? Hearing that martial artist in black's rebuke, a 2-star bodyguard behind Fatty Luo stood out, emitting a powerful aura. My surname is Luo, Fatty Luo said with a smile. Luo, the martial artist in black thought for a long time, but couldn't think of any major force in the Dexian Empire with the surname Luo. He was just about to refuse when the 3 2-star bodyguards behind Fatty Luo emitted extremely powerful auras. Instantly, that martial artist in black's expression changed. 3 2-star martial artists as bodyguards. This wasn't something an ordinary person could do. They were definitely disciples of a major family. Although he couldn't guess which family they were from, he thought that their identity should be extraordinary. Then he nodded slightly. You can go in, but they can't. Saying that, the martial artist in black's gaze once again fell on Lin Xian and the others, and the corners of his mouth curled up in a cold smile. Brother Lin, Fatty Luo turned around and asked, I'll do it myself. Lin Xian nodded slightly and didn't let Fatty Luo and the others attack. Instead, he stepped forward and walked up. Get down. Seeing Lin Xian not retreat but advance, the black-clothed martial artist's face sank. Since he was standing here, he was naturally choosing people. The young man before him was only a 1-star king realm cultivator, so it was impossible for him to let him go. Thus, in the next moment, he shouted coldly and waved his palm. Suddenly, the void trembled, and a palm blooming with light pushed horizontally in the air. It was like a 5-fingered mountain wanting to crush Lin Xian. Lin Xian focused his gaze and punched out as well. His blood and qi circulated in his body, emitting a rumbling sound. His arm was like a huge dragon, surging rapidly. With a punch, the entire void started to tremble. Pung! A deep voice sounded out before it quickly dissipated. However, the black-clothed warrior's expression changed drastically as he quickly retreated a few steps. Bang, bang, bang. Every step he took was on the void, even leaving a black crack in it. Shocking. It was too shocking. He did not expect that his opponent would be able to send him flying with a single punch. How was this possible? The other party was only a one-star king tier. So how could he possess such powerful strength? However, no matter how much he did not believe it, the truth was right in front of him. How is it? I'm qualified now, right? Lin Xian asked with a smile. You're very strong, so you're qualified to enter? The black-clothed warrior nodded solemnly. He was a 2-star king realm cultivator, so anyone who could defeat him was definitely qualified to enter. Hearing this, Lin Xian nodded, then turned around and said, "Let's go." The group moved forward, but the black-clothed warrior blocked their way again. You can enter, but they can't. The black-clothed warrior pointed at Murong Qingsheng and the others behind Lin Xian and said coldly. Immediately, Lin Xian frowned. They're my friends, so they naturally have to enter with me. No matter who they are, they can't enter. Unless they can defeat me, the black-clothed warrior said coldly. Hearing this, Murong Qingsheng and the others fell silent. After a year of cultivation, they had already become 1-star kings, but the black-clothed warrior in front of them was a 2-star king realm. It was impossible for them to challenge someone of a higher level. Brother Lin Xian, forget it. Why don't we wait outside? Shen Jingqiu was a little uneasy. No. Lin Xian shook his head decisively. You're my women. If I can't even bring my own women in, what's the point of cultivating? In the next moment, he turned around and looked at the black-clothed warrior again. I'll give you one last chance. Get out of my way. The black-clothed warrior's face was gloomy. He had never been looked down upon like this. Although Lin Xian had forced him to retreat, he wasn't someone to be trifled with if they really fought. Kid, this is the rule here. You'd better not break it, or don't blame me for being rude. The black-clothed warrior wanted to say something more, but in the next moment, his face changed drastically. This was because a green light suddenly appeared on Lin Xian's body and instantly enveloped him. You're courting death. The black-clothed warrior was furious. A powerful aura surged from his body, and he was about to counterattack. However, in the next moment, he froze. That terrifying aura also disappeared in an instant. It couldn't be helped. A green domain had completely enveloped him at this moment. There were countless sharp swords pressed against his throat. As long as he moved, those swords would pierce his throat. Although he was a 2-star king, he was still afraid of death. Drip, drip, cold sweat dripped from his forehead. The black-clothed warrior was completely drenched. He was terrified. He didn't expect Lin Xian to be able to subdue him in an instant. One had to know that repelling and subduing were different. Repelling meant that Lin Xian had the strength to fight him, but subduing him meant that Lin Xian's strength completely surpassed his. Lin Xian could kill him in an instant. Thinking of this, the black-clothed warrior was terrified. Lin Xian was clearly a 1-star king, but his combat strength shocked him to the core. Not to mention the black-clothed warrior. Even Fatty Luo and the 3 2-star bodyguards behind him were shocked. This was because Lin Xian's strength had once again exceeded their expectations. Can I bring people in now? Lin Xian asked coldly. Yes, the black-clothed warrior nodded with difficulty. He didn't dare to resist now because his life was in Lin Xian's hands. Let's go. Lin Xian turned around and pulled Murong Qingsheng and Shen Jingqiu. Then the group of people walked to the 3rd floor. The 3rd floor had an antique atmosphere and was very quiet. There were very few people here, only 7 or 8. At this moment, everyone's gaze was fixed on the staircase. This was because they didn't expect that other than them, there would be someone else who could follow them to the 3rd floor. In the next moment, those people were stunned because there were a lot of people on the 3rd floor. One of them was a fat man in a golden robe, followed by 3 black-clothed bodyguards. On the other side was a handsome young man, followed by 3 stunning beauties. Next to him was a red four-horned snake with a snow-white monkey on top of it. This group was very spectacular. At this moment, everyone on the third floor was stunned. They didn't expect there to be so many people. However, a hint of anger appeared on their faces soon after. Chapter 1508. At this moment, the people on the third floor were all stunned. They didn't expect so many people to come, but soon after, anger appeared on their faces. This was because they noticed that many of them were only one-star kings. They couldn't even reach the second floor. So, how could they enter the third floor? Damn it! How did that guy guard the door? Why did he let in so many trash? Damn it, who are you calling trash? Fatty Luo and the Crimson Dragon both jumped up. Of course I'm talking about you. You dare to enter the third floor with such strength? Although I don't know how you got in, I'll ask you to scram now. Otherwise, don't blame me for being rude. A young man in a blue robe stood up. He was quite handsome, but his eyes were very cold, making people uncomfortable. You're only a mid-stage two-star king, and you dare to talk big in front of me? Fatty Luo snorted disdainfully. Come. Ben Huang will teach you how to behave. The Crimson Dragon also gnashed his teeth. Like Lin Xian, his strength couldn't be judged by his cultivation. Lin Xian glanced at the people in front of him and then revealed a trace of surprise. He found that these people were all very powerful. The weakest among them was a mid-stage two-star king, and there were a few late-stage two-star kings. There were even one or two whose cultivation he couldn't see clearly. Thinking about it, they should be even stronger. However, so what if their cultivation was strong? He wasn't afraid of trouble. Since these people dared to provoke him, he naturally had to fight back. How did you get in? Of course, I fought my way up. Don't you know the rules here? Lin Xian looked around, not backing down at all. Before coming to the true spirit world, he already knew that this was a world where the strong preyed on the weak. Moreover, he had personally experienced it these few days. Therefore, in this place he had to be strong and couldn't show any weakness, because the weak were bullied and looked down upon. Only the strong could make people respect and fear them. Therefore, Lin Xian's attitude had been very decisive after coming to the true spirit world. Humph, do you think the few of them can pass? The blue-robed man snorted disdainfully, whether I can or not. You'll know once you try. Lin Xian took a step forward, a fierce aura emanating from his body. So strong. The people on the other side were shocked. They didn't think that Lin Xian could release such a terrifying aura. Although he was only a one-star king, his strength had most likely surpassed the one-star king realm and reached the two-star king realm. Not bad indeed. No wonder you can come up here. At this moment, a cold voice sounded from the front. Lin Xian looked in the direction of the voice and was slightly surprised. It was a graceful figure, sitting there quietly. She was very beautiful, but there was a cold aura around her. It was as if nothing could catch her eye. Even Lin Xian, she only glanced at him. The woman continued, However, by forcefully bringing them here, you've broken the rules. This is not good for them. Another handsome man in a red robe also spoke. Different strengths have different circles. They haven't reached that level yet, so they don't have the right to enter this circle. So, let them go down quickly. The other party's voice was very calm, but there was an irresistible command in it. However, Lin Xian sneered. Rules are set by people, so they naturally change according to people. There's nothing wrong with this. As for what happens in the future, you don't have to worry about it. Hearing this, the cold woman frowned, but didn't say anything. The red-robed man snorted. Obviously, he was very dissatisfied with Lin Xian's attitude. However, perhaps due to his status, he didn't attack. However, the blue-robed man who had been hooting earlier sneered. Brat, you're too arrogant. This isn't a place for you to be so presumptuous. Is that so? Let's see what right you have to teach me a lesson. Lin Xian's eyes narrowed and flashed with a cold light. Then he strode toward the blue-robed man. You dare to attack me? You're courting death. The blue-robed man was furious and quickly counterattacked. The others also frowned. However, they didn't stop him because they also wanted to dampen Lin Xian's spirit. Brat, you're too arrogant. Today, I'll teach you how to behave properly. The blue-robed man sneered and pointed with his finger. Suddenly, a ray of blue light surged out. It was extremely terrifying and quickly pierced toward Lin Xian. This sword qi was ocean blue and carried a terrifying power. Even an early-stage 2-star king couldn't resist it. Although the blue-robed man was arrogant, his strength was extremely powerful. He had even surpassed the black-robed martial artist who had been guarding the door. Lin Xian, be careful. Murong Qingcheng and the others behind him were concerned. On the other hand, the people on the other side were watching with cold smiles. Lin Xian's expression was calm. He looked at the ocean blue sword qi and quickly attacked. He slowly raised his palm and pushed it out. What? He dares to resist with his bare hands? He's really courting death. The people opposite him sneered disdainfully. Although Bai Shan is only an intermediate stage 2-star king, his strength is indeed powerful, especially his true martial sword qi. It's extremely powerful. There are very few opponents in the same level as him. This guy dares to resist with his bare hands? He's really courting death. Everyone sneered, thinking that Lin Xian was doomed. However, in the next moment, their expressions froze. Even the cold and haughty woman let out a soft cry of surprise. This was because in Lin Xian's hand, countless rays of green light surged and flashed rapidly. They formed a green vortex and blasted forward. Suddenly, the true martial sword qi encountered the vortex and quickly disintegrated. Then it turned into spiritual qi and was absorbed by the green vortex. What? He broke it? How is that possible? Everyone was shocked. The blue-robed young man, Bai Shan, was also shocked. Impossible! How could you break my true martial sword qi? He was too shocked. One had to know that his true martial sword qi was an intermediate-grade Earth-class martial art. It was very powerful. Very few people in the same level as him were his match. However, before he could react, Lin Xian clenched his fist and slashed out a green sword qi. Damn it! Seeing this sword qi, the blue-robed young man's face changed drastically. The pupils of the few people around him shrank. This sword qi was too terrifying. It was much more powerful than the sword qi that the blue-robed young man had shot out. Humph! The blue-robed young man snorted. With a shake of his hand, he took out an ancient shield to resist. However, this shield was not formed by spiritual qi. It was a treasure. This was a half-Earth-class treasure. Its power was very terrifying. In fact, in the true spirit world, Earth-class treasures were rare. Although there were more of them than in the Tianwu continent, they were still in the hands of the top forces. However, this half-Earth-class treasure's power was several times stronger than the ones in the Tianwu continent. After all, the martial arts here were very developed. The quality was naturally much better. After summoning the ancient shield, the blue-robed young man breathed a sigh of relief. Obviously, he was very confident in his defense. However, in the next moment, he screamed. Chapter 1509. That was because Lin Xian's green sword, Aura, had cut his shield in half when it hit him. Then, the sword Aura had landed on his body. Fortunately, he was still wearing an inner armor, which blocked the sword qi and prevented him from being cut in half. However, the terrifying power contained in the sword qi still sent him flying. Rumble! The blue-clothed youth was sent flying. What? Bai Shan lost. The surrounding kings were shocked. They didn't expect Bai Shan to be defeated, and in one move at that. Who on earth was the other party? to have such strength. However, they knew all the geniuses in the Dacian Empire, and there was no such person. Could it be that he was from another country? They were puzzled and stared at Lin Xian with unfriendly expressions. Among them, there were even two with explosive tempers who stood up and wanted to attack. At this moment, the aloof woman spoke up. "All right, stop fighting. He's right. Rules are set by people, and he indeed has the ability to change the rules. Let's forget about it this time." Hearing this, everyone was even more shocked than when they saw Bai Shan lose, because they knew the identity of the cold woman. They didn't expect that even she would speak, so they naturally couldn't attack. Thus, they could only snort coldly. The cold woman raised her head again and looked at Lin Xian. "What's your name? Where are you from?" "Lin Xian. As for where I came from, I'm afraid you wouldn't know even if I told you." "Lin Xian." The kings on the other side whispered, clearly wanting to remember this name. At this moment, Fatty Luo also walked up and said with a smile, "Not fighting? Then let's sit down and have a chat. How about it? And who are you?" One of them asked coldly. Obviously, the other party was Lin Xian's companion, so they naturally wouldn't be polite. Fatty Luo said proudly, "My surname is Luo." "Surname Luo?" Lin Xian was also puzzled when he heard this, because this wasn't the first time Fatty Luo had said this, but those people before didn't react. In fact, many people were also puzzled this time. That was because they didn't know that the Dacian Empire had a Luo family that was extremely powerful. However, the cold woman frowned slightly, and then she seemed to have thought of something. "What's your relationship with Luo Badeo?" "Hee, take a guess," Fatty Luo said with a grin, refusing to answer. However, the expression on his face was one of extreme pride. Seeing this scene, the cold woman's expression became even more serious. As for the surrounding people, they were all shocked. "What? Luo Badeo? It can't be, right? He can't really be related to Luo Badeo, right? Stop joking. How could such a peerless figure come here? Moreover, he only has a 2-star king tier by his side. His status doesn't match the card game." The group of people discussed animatedly. They were very confused, but Fatty Luo didn't explain at all. Instead, he sat down casually. Afterwards, Lin Xian and the others all sat down. At this moment, Fatty Luo spoke again. "I've heard that Fairy Chuyu's skills are unparalleled. I wonder if I'll be able to broaden my horizons this time." "Oh, you know me?" This time, it was the cold woman's turn to be surprised. "Of course. Why else would I be here?" Hearing this, Lin Xian also raised his eyebrows. He knew that this cold woman in front of him was very likely the Danzong disciple. Chuyu nodded slightly. Then, with a flip of her jade-like hand, a few exquisite jade bottles appeared. Inside them was a resplendent liquid. Then she poured a few drops into the 4-beast soup. Instantly, a rich aroma quickly wafted out. Not only that, but there was even a sparkling light enveloping it. Fragrant. "Is this the exquisite liquid? It's really amazing." Fatty Luo was excited. Brother Lin, this exquisite liquid is very special. It's made from 50 types of precious spiritual herbs. It's very wonderful when paired with this 4-beast soup. Moreover, the energy contained in it is extremely terrifying. It can even increase the cultivation of a king tier. "So amazing?" Lin Xian was shocked. The others were also envious. However, you only made 2 bowls and stopped. It was obvious that this exquisite liquid was extremely precious. Even she was not willing to use too much of it. "Ha, brother, I won't stand on ceremony." Fatty Luo reacted quickly and snatched a bowl. When the others saw this, they were extremely envious. However, no one dared to snatch it because Fatty Luo's identity was too suspicious. although they did not believe that Fatty Luo was related to the legendary Luo Badeo. They did not dare to make a move. If it was true, they would be dead. Therefore, they had their eyes on the other bowl. However, in the next moment, the king's faces turned green because the other bowl was picked up by Lin Xian. "You're courting death. How dare you? Kid, put it down." Cold shouts were heard one after another. It was obvious that they had no qualms about Lin Xian. With a cold snort, two people immediately attacked. The auras of these two kings were even more powerful than the man in blue from before. Both of them attacked as fast as lightning and showed no mercy. Suddenly, the void trembled and runes flickered. The light quickly enveloped Lin Xian. "Get lost!" Lin Xian shouted coldly and attacked quickly as well. Like an azure dragon emerging from the sea, Lin Xian was extremely powerful. He threw out 2 consecutive palms and quickly exchanged blows with the 2 kings. Bang, bang. A low sound was heard, causing the void to tremble rapidly. If it were not for the fact that there were many kings here, the entire building would have been destroyed. Even so, cracks appeared in the void. 2 screams were heard. The 2 kings who attacked earlier quickly retreated, their expressions extremely ugly. It was obvious that they had suffered a loss at Lin Xian's hands. Impossible. How can he be so strong? The 2 kings were shocked and doubtful. They looked at Lin Xian and gritted their teeth, but they did not dare to attack again. Just now, the 2 of them had attacked with all their might. They were only short of using their king domain, but even so, they were unable to defeat Lin Xian. It was hard for them to believe. After quickly repelling the 2 kings, Lin Xian looked around. "If anyone else is not convinced, you can come out now. Otherwise, you won't have a chance." His voice was very confident. "Kid, you are too arrogant. Don't think that you can be arrogant just because you can defeat a 2-star king. This is not a place where you can be presumptuous." A dignified voice rang out. It was filled with a strong sense of warning and terrifying pressure. Many kings were shocked when they heard this. This was because the person who spoke was a 2-star king. Although there was only a difference of 1 word between the 2, the difference in power was like heaven and earth. Judging from the reactions of the middle stage 2-star kings, it was clear how powerful the king realm cultivator was. It was a young man in a red robe. He looked coldly at Lin Xian. "Put down that bowl of soup and I will not touch you. Otherwise, you will not be able to bear the consequences." Chapter 15:10. With Hai Wuxin here, that kid is dead for sure. That's for sure. Hai Wuxin is a late-stage 2-star king. He's terrifyingly strong. No matter how strong that kid is, he won't be able to stop him. Humph. Let's see how he's going to die. Daring to go against us, this is his fate. The kings who had been at a disadvantage earlier were gloating. It was obvious that they were very confident in that red-robed man. "Who are you? You dare to stop me?" Lin Xian frowned. "What I want is something you can touch. If you don't like it, you can fight. Don't talk big." Lin Xian was not afraid at all. Good, kid. It seems like you don't know what's good for you." Hai Wuxin was truly angry. "According to cultivation, I wouldn't want to bully you, but since you don't know what's good for you, I can only suppress you." Hai Wuxin said coldly. "You talk too much." Lin Xian sneered. He picked up the bowl of soup and handed it to Morong Qingcheng and the others. "Try it. It should taste good." Seeing this, Hai Wuxin's face immediately darkened. The other party had not listened to his warning and dared to snatch what he wanted in front of everyone. He was courting death. In the next moment, he attacked mercilessly. A large blue hand, like a star, quickly reached out and grabbed at Lin Xian. The blue hand glowed brightly with a terrifying aura. In an instant, cracks appeared in the void around Lin Xian. Horrifying. It was too horrifying. A late-stage two-star king was far stronger than a mid-stage two-star king. This power could even easily kill a mid-stage two-star king. No wonder Hai Wuxin was so confident. It was indeed terrifying. There were probably not many people present who could subdue him. The surrounding kings paled as they watched this scene, their hearts thumping. On the other hand, Lin Xian's side was abnormally quiet. This was because Lin Xian had already opened his dragon sword domain and enveloped Murong Qingcheng and the others. No matter how terrifying the blue hand was, it was unable to shake his dragon sword domain. Without any worries, Lin Xian no longer hesitated and quickly threw out a punch. With a punch, the void trembled. His arm was like a dragon as it soared into the sky. It quickly traversed through the void and violently collided with the blue palm. Boom! Instantly, the entire void started to tremble. That terrifying aura caused the surrounding kings to go pale and their bodies to tremble. Hai Wuxin's expression changed when he felt the power of this punch. Suddenly, he roared angrily, and his eyes shone with a sharp light. His aura rose once again. It was obvious that he was going to use his full strength. However, Lin Xian didn't give him a chance. With a low growl, an enormous amount of power gushed out from his body and poured into his fist. Immediately, a dazzling fist emitted a resplendent green light and fiercely punched out. Boom! Puff! Hai Wuxin couldn't take it at all. His blue hand instantly cracked, and he flew backwards. Blood sprayed into the sky. Time seemed to stop at that moment. Only Hai Wuxin's figure could be seen flying backwards. Everyone was stunned. Even Chu Yu, who had always been cold and aloof, was extremely shocked, because no one had expected Lin Xian to be able to send Hai Wuxin flying with one punch. One had to know that Hai Wuxin was already a late-stage two-star king. His strength was extremely terrifying. The only person here who could win against him was probably Fairy Chu Yu. But now he had been sent flying by a one-star king. If she hadn't seen it with her own eyes, she wouldn't have believed it. How is it? Do I have the right to drink this bowl of soup? Lin Xian's lips curled up slightly as he spoke coldly. You... Hai Wuxin fell to the ground, trembling with anger. He felt his chest tighten, and his entire arm couldn't feel. That punch just now was too terrifying. It had almost crippled his arm. When he heard Lin Xian's voice, he was so angry that he spat out a mouthful of blood. Shameful. This was too shameful. To think that he, a late-stage two-star king, couldn't beat a one-star king. Moreover, he had been defeated in front of so many people. This made him want to die. On the side, Fairy Chu Yu's expression was grave. She asked seriously, "Who are you?" Lin Xian smiled. "I told you, my name is Lin Xian." Chu Yu continued to ask, "Which sect are you from?" Lin Xian said, "I'm not from any sect, but I want to join Danzong." Chu Yu was stunned. "What? You want to join Danzong?" To tell the truth, she was too shocked. She didn't expect Lin Xian to make such a request at this time. At this time, Fatty Luo also whispered, "Yeah, that's why I brought him here. How is it? Do you think my brother is okay?" On the side, Murong Qingcheng, Shen Jingqiu, and Luo Bingshan all took a small sip of the soup and then handed it to Lin Xian. Lin Xian laughed and took a big gulp. Then he said, "Delicious." Chu Yu blinked. She suddenly felt that this young man in front of her was very interesting. Thus, she smiled and said, "With your skills, joining Danzong is too easy. But I'm curious, what's the use of learning alchemy at your age? You should know that as long as you have the strength and money, you can buy any alchemy pill." After hearing this, Lin Xian smiled and said, "You're wrong this time. I'm an alchemist." "Oh, you're an alchemist?" Chu Yu was surprised. To tell the truth, before this, she didn't see any signs of Lin Xian being an alchemist. However, she also knew that there were many strange people in the true spirit world. It wasn't impossible for him to be an alchemist. However, since he was an alchemist, he definitely had a master's legacy. But why did he want to join Danzong? This made her have no choice but to be suspicious, and she even secretly became vigilant in her heart. Give me a reason, Chuyu asked in a low voice. Lin Xian smiled and said, It's very simple. Although I'm an alchemist, I'm not invincible. Danzong has something I want. For example, better alchemy recipes and better resources. What he said wasn't wrong, but it wasn't his main goal. His main goal was to fulfill Niwa of Gojoseon's wish. Of course, he wouldn't tell her about this, because he didn't know how many enemies Niwa of Gojoseon had. All of this would have to wait until he entered Danzong. After hearing Lin Xian's words, Chuyu fell into deep thought and didn't say anything. The others couldn't say anything either, because Lin Xian's strength had already stunned them all. For a moment, the entire third floor was silent. Even the air was a little stuffy. There was only the sound of Fatty Luo happily drinking his soup, and the sound of the Crimson Dragon and the snow-white monkey fighting over food. Chuyu thought for a moment, then said, I can indeed recommend you to join Danzong, but I have a condition. Lin Xian asked, Oh, condition? What condition? Chapter 15:11. Chuyu thought for a moment, then said, I can indeed recommend you to join the Danzong, but I have a condition. Lin Xian asked, Oh, condition? What condition? Do me a favor. There's a martial arts competition in the Great Xian Empire soon, and I want you to participate. Lin Xian was puzzled. Participate in the martial arts competition? Chuyu said. Yes, participate in the martial arts competition. Actually, I invited these people here for the same reason. This martial arts competition in the Great Xian Empire concerns the distribution of strength among the princes and princesses. As a good friend of Princess Kai Dai, I naturally have to help her recruit some prodigies to participate. They're all candidates, and among them, Hai Wuxin is someone I've taken a liking to, but I didn't expect him to be so weak that he lost to you in one move. Speaking up to hear, Chuyu coldly glanced at Hai Wuxin. Instantly, Hai Wuxin's face darkened, and he wished he could find a hole to hide in. Since you defeated him and displayed such strength, you're a suitable candidate. If you can agree to my condition and fight for Princess Kai Dai, I'll help you apply to join the Danzong. Trust me, with my strength, I can definitely get you to join the Danzong. However, it all depends on your performance. Lin Xian shrugged. Participate in the martial arts competition? That's simple. I thought it was something else. Okay, I agree to your condition. Although your strength is beyond my expectations, I still have to remind you that there are countless experts in the Great Xian Empire, and there are many prodigies in the younger generation. There are even many 3-star king-level prodigies participating, so you better be careful. I know. Lin Xian nodded. Afterwards, Lin Xian and the others left because he'd already asked clearly. The martial arts competition in the Great Xian Empire would be held in the Imperial City. There was still more than a month left. So Lin Xian planned to immediately leave for the Great Xian Empire's Imperial City. Fatty Luo came out as well. He looked at Lin Xian and said with a smile, Hee brother, I didn't expect that we would end up together again. Lin Xian asked curiously, Why, are you also participating in this martial arts conference? It is indeed related to the martial arts conference, but I am not here to participate in the martial arts conference. I am here for another matter. What is it? Of course, it's to open a gambling house. An opportunity like the martial arts competition is naturally a good opportunity to make money. Fatty Luo smiled. But I'm going to see another old friend right now, so I can't go to the Imperial City with you. Don't worry about it. Go do what you need to do, Lin Xian said. Then I'll see you in the Imperial City, Fatty Luo said with a smile. But then he reminded him in a low voice, "Brother, let me give you a piece of advice. The three women you brought are really too eye-catching. It's fine if you're from the younger generation, but if you're targeted by some old monster, it'll be hard for you to escape. If you really came from overseas, why don't you let them join a sect? This way, their safety will be protected. There are many places in the Dacian Empire that have training grounds set up by the various large sections. You can test a cultivator's aptitude there. Why don't you go there and give it a try?" "That's good too." Lin Xian nodded. He indeed had to consider this matter, because he would be joining the Danzong soon, and Murong Qingcheng and the others were not alchemists, so it was obviously impossible for them to join the Danzong. He had to arrange a place for them so that he could be at ease and do other things. Murong Qingcheng, Shen Jingqiu, and the others naturally knew about this matter, so they all nodded in agreement. The group bade farewell to Fatty Luo and quickly set off. Lin Xian and the others set off for the imperial city. But on the way, they had to go to Sanyue City first. There was a training ground there that could test a cultivator's aptitude. It was a good opportunity for Murong Qingcheng and the others to test themselves so that they could join a good sect. Not long after Lin Xian and the others left, the Zhao family also received the news. Because the Zhao family was behind the Iron Fist pirates, and Lin Xian had crippled all the kings of the Iron Fist pirates in public, the Zhao family was naturally infuriated. They had sent experts to capture Lin Xian and the others, but they did not expect Lin Xian and the others to leave in advance. The Zhao family experts were furious that they missed, but they would not give up and quickly chased after them. Since they dared to provoke the Zhao family, they had to tear them into pieces. This time, the Zhao family had sent out 3 late-stage 2-star king tiers. In addition, there were many mid-stage and 1-star kings. It was very terrifying. It seemed that the Zhao family was determined to kill Lin Xian and the others. They quickly gathered information and finally confirmed that Lin Xian and the others were heading to Sanyue City. Instantly, the 3 late-stage 2-star kings sneered. "No matter where you run to, you can't escape from the Zhao family. Let's go to Sanyue City and kill that kid." Then the kings of the Zhao family quickly flew to Sanyue City. Sanyue City was very prosperous, and there were many martial artists because of the Sanyue Dojo. This dojo could test a martial artist's aptitude, and the results of the test would be sent to the various major sections. Once an outstanding genius was discovered, the various major sects would send people to receive them. It could be said that this was a very good method to select geniuses. And this method also provided many talented martial artists to the major sections. It was said that there were even people who passed this test and entered the legendary sacred grounds. Of course, that was a long time ago. In the past few hundred years, there were not many people who could enter the sacred grounds from the Sanyue Dojo. The best ones could only enter the subsidiary sects of the sacred grounds. However, this did not affect the enthusiasm of the crowd. Lin Xian and the others landed in Sanyue City and rushed to the Sanyue Square. "Hey, Tu, which sects do you think they can enter?" Lin Xian asked. He had already put away the black earth vessel, but Hey Tu had turned into a small dagger and was inserted into his hair like a hairpin. Hearing the voice transmission, Hey Tu slowly said, "It's hard to say. I haven't tested them, but at least it's a subsidiary sect of the sacred grounds. As for whether they can enter the sacred grounds, it will depend on their luck." Hearing Hey Tu's voice transmission, Lin Xian nodded. Not bad. It was better than he had expected. This was because even if he went to Danzong in the future, it would only be a subsidiary sect of the sacred grounds. With Murong Qingcheng and Shen Jingqiu's bloodline power, the sect they entered would definitely not be worse than Danzong. The arrival of Lin Xian and the others caused quite a stir. After all, the effect of the beauties was too shocking. Many people looked at Murong Qingcheng and the others and drooled. There were even a few who thought that they were more handsome and wanted to strike up a conversation. However, They were scared away by Lin Xian. This was his woman, and he wouldn't allow anyone to steal her away. Chapter 15:12. The group stopped at the Blue Moon Plaza, but they didn't immediately go up to test their talent, because they didn't know how to do it. There had never been such a thing in the Sky Martial Continent, but after looking for a while, they understood. The test was very simple. There were a few colorful light pillars in front of them. They just had to place their hands on them and activate them. The colorful light pillars were divided into 10 areas. The more light one activated, the higher the talent. As for the theory behind it, Lin Xian and the others didn't know. But according to He Tu's introduction, these light pillars were created by the sacred grounds. They were incomparably mysterious. After looking for a while, Lin Xian found that the Dexian Empire wasn't as terrifying as he had imagined. Although there were many kings and geniuses, there probably weren't any monstrous geniuses. This was normal. Even if there were, they would have been taken away by the sacred grounds. They were the true overlords of the true spirit world. Buzz, a youth in his 20s, walked up and activated the light pillars. He only emitted 5 rays. Immediately, the crowd cried out in surprise. Because this was already considered a very good genius, ordinary warriors could only activate 2 or 3 rays. As for the better geniuses, they could only activate 3 or 4. Activating 5 rays could be considered good among the geniuses. Soon, the youth stood to the side excitedly. He knew that someone would definitely come to pick him up. After him, another girl around the age of 18 or 19 stepped forward. This girl's face was delicate and her eyebrows were like willow leaves. She carried a fragrance with her. As she walked, her small hands were placed on the light pillars. Then 7 rays lit up. Heavens, are my eyes playing tricks on me? She actually activated 7 rays. Genius. She's a peak genius. It's been a long time since such a genius appeared. She can definitely enter the subsidiary sects of the sacred grounds. At this moment, countless warriors were gathered in the Blue Moon Plaza. Seeing the scene, they all cried out in surprise and looked at the beautiful girl with envy. The young girl also raised her delicate little face, her expression filled with arrogance. He was like a little princess, surrounded by countless young martial artists. There was no helping it. This was too shocking. 5 rays was already considered a very good genius. 7 rays was definitely a peak genius. She could definitely enter the subsidiary sections. But to enter the sacred grounds, she was still far from it. It was said that in order to enter the Holy Land, one needed at least 10 rays of light. However, this was too difficult. Not to mention 10 rays of light, even 8 rays of light were rarely seen. Therefore, the fact that the young girl was able to produce 7 rays of light was already a very impressive feat. After that girl, many other warriors went to take the test. However, there were no more shocking geniuses. The best one was only able to light up 6 rays of light. Seeing this scene, the girl from before became even more complacent. She raised her chin high, as if she didn't put anyone in her eyes. Qingcheng, go and give it a try. At this moment, Lin Xian said with a smile, "Okay." Murong Qingcheng smiled and nodded. She then let go of Lin Xian's hand and walked forward. Instantly, everyone's attention was drawn to her. It couldn't be helped. Murong Qingcheng was too beautiful. She had a graceful figure and a beautiful face, coupled with her temperament. She was like a fairy that had descended to the mortal world. Nothing could be more beautiful. Although that girl from before was also very pretty compared to Murong Qingcheng, she seemed to be overshadowed. So beautiful. Who is she? When did such a beauty appear in the great Xian Empire? How come I didn't know? F***CK. Too beautiful. Not to mention her talent. Her beauty alone is unparalleled in the world. Cries of surprise rang out. The eyes of the male warriors all lit up. Even some of the female warriors were amazed. The arrogant girl from before snorted coldly, extremely displeased. She was originally the pride of the heavens, and the focus of everyone's attention. However, with Murong Qingqing's appearance, everyone's attention was snatched away. No one was paying attention to her. Everyone's attention was on Murong Qingqing. How could the arrogant girl stand this? However, although her expression was ugly, she had to admit that the other party was too beautiful. She couldn't compare to her in terms of looks. She could only grit her teeth and snort softly. Humph, just a vase. Under the gazes of everyone, Murong Qingqing slowly walked to the light pillar. Then she placed her delicate little hand on the light pillar. Everyone held their breaths and watched carefully. Even Lin Xian couldn't help but feel nervous. That was because this test would determine which faction Murong Qingqing would eventually enter. The light pillar in front reacted and flickered rapidly. 1 light, 2 light, 3 light rays. Soon, 5 light rays lit up. 5 light rays. Not bad. She's already considered a very good genius. That's right. Coupled with her beauty, I'm afraid that her status in the faction will definitely increase greatly. Many people chatted and discussed animatedly. The arrogant girl from before snorted lightly, her eyes full of disdain. 5 light rays, 2 light rays less than hers. This meant that the other party's talent was inferior to hers. Humph, so what if she's beautiful? Her talent is inferior to mine. It's useless, the arrogant girl said proudly. However, in the next moment, she was stunned. She even widened her eyes in disbelief. That was because after the 5 light rays in front of her, the 6th light did not disappear. What? There's more. Everyone was shocked and looked ahead in disbelief. 6 light rays. She was already considered a top genius. They did not expect that the beautiful girl would have such good talent. However, in the next moment, they screamed again because they saw the 7th light ray. Heavens, what did I just see? The 7th light ray. It's another top genius with 7 light rays. Shocking. It was too shocking. That beautiful girl's talent was actually so high. She was a prodigy. Not only was she beautiful, but her talent was also top-notch. Cries of surprise sounded one after another. Everyone looked ahead enviously. Obviously, 7 light rays were already considered a top genius. With such talent, she could still enter the affiliated faction of the Sacred Ground. Everyone cried out in surprise, but the arrogant girl from before was gnashing her teeth. Her beautiful eyes were filled with malice. Damn it, how is that possible? How could she have triggered 7 light rays? Cheating. She must be cheating. The arrogant girl was really angry. Previously, she had said that the other party was a flower vase, but now the other party had triggered 7 light rays. The other party's talent was the same as hers. Wasn't that a slap to her face? Moreover, what made her even angrier was that the other party was prettier than her. As a woman, she absolutely could not tolerate that. Therefore, she stared at the beautiful figure in front of her with a cold, murderous intent in her eyes. Chapter 15:13. What infuriated her even more was that the other party was prettier than her. As a woman, she could not tolerate this. Therefore, she stared at the beautiful figure in front of her with a murderous look in her eyes. Only she could become one of the top geniuses. No one else was qualified to stand beside her. Miss, I'll take care of her. Seeing the arrogant girl's expression, the 2 middle-aged women beside her quickly said. Then they drew their swords and charged forward like ghosts. Things were precious when they were rare. A genius with 7 rays of light was already enough. Another genius would only lower the value of a genius. Therefore, for the sake of the arrogant girl's status, they had to kill Morong Qingcheng. The attack was very sudden. 2 rays of cold light pierced towards Morong Qingcheng like poisonous snakes. Not only that, the 2 rays of light were aimed at Morong Qingcheng's vital points. What? Someone attacked. Seeing this scene, the crowd was shocked. They could not believe that someone dared to attack Morong Qingcheng. Morong Qingcheng was a genius with 7 rays of light. She was already considered a disciple of a subsidiary sect. Who would dare to attack her at this time? However, things still happened. Morong Qingcheng's expression changed. She had activated 7 rays of light, and a smile appeared on her beautiful face. However, the sudden killing intent caused her expression to darken again. She was not a flower vase. She was extremely talented and powerful. She was one of the top geniuses in the Tianmu continent. Although she was not used to coming to the quintessential world, she was not someone who could be assassinated so easily. With a shout, Morong Qingcheng quickly counterattacked. She waved her hands and 2 purple palms flew out in an instant. Bang, bang. 2 shocking sounds were heard. Then, the purple palms slammed into the 2 rays of cold light, causing them to retreat. Whoosh! The crowd exclaimed. They did not expect that someone would dare to fight in the Tsangyue Square. It was too bold. Sister Morong, Shen Jingqiu called out anxiously from afar. Lin Xian's expression darkened, and a murderous look appeared in his eyes. He did not expect that someone would dare to assassinate Morong Qingcheng. This person was definitely courting death. Shaking his body, Lin Xian arrived next to Morong Qingcheng in the next second. "Are you all right?" he asked nervously. "I'm fine." Morong Qingcheng shook his head, but he didn't look too good either. That was because she had rarely encountered such an assassination attempt. On the martial heaven continent, she was a heavenly daughter. Everyone could only look up to her. But after coming to this vast true spirit world, things changed in an instant. She was no longer that high and mighty princess, nor did she have the strength to crush everything. She was just an ordinary king. Therefore, she was very interested in this test because she wanted to use this opportunity to enter a good sect and strengthen her own strength. As Lin Xian's woman, she didn't want to be a burden, let alone a vase. She didn't do anything wrong, but the other party wanted to kill her. This made her extremely furious. However, what made her even angrier was that the 2 figures in the sky, who had been pushed back by the purple palm, attacked again. It seemed that if they did not kill Morong Qingcheng, they would not give up easily. Humph! Lin Xian snorted coldly, and a murderous look appeared in his eyes. The other party was too despicable. They actually attacked again and again, completely disregarding him. In the next moment, he attacked as well. A golden sky rock flew out from his palm, covering the sky and circling in the sky. Its terrifying claws tore through the void like 2 golden mountains, grabbing at the 2 figures in the sky. "You're courting death." The 2 middle-aged women waved the sharp swords in their hands, creating a shocking rainbow. However, in front of the golden sky rock, it was useless. Crack, crack. All the sword chi broke in an instant, but the sky rock's sharp claws were still descending rapidly. Poof, poof. In the next moment, the 2 middle-aged women were caught and nailed firmly in the void. The 2 of them screamed, and their expressions were full of fear. They couldn't believe that someone would dare to subdue them in an instant. Time seemed to have stopped. The golden sky rock circled in the sky, and its feet stepped on the 2 middle-aged women. The 2 middle-aged women fought back with all their might, but they couldn't move it at all. Instead, they were hit by the rebound force, and their blood was in turmoil. Their bones were trembling. "Kid, how dare you touch me? You're dead meat." The 2 middle-aged women looked down fiercely. They saw a handsome man standing in front of Morong Qingcheng. The golden sky rock had come from the handsome man's hand. Are you threatening me? Lin Xian sneered. You're just two slaves. How dare you threaten me? You must be tired of living. What did you say? The middle-aged woman screamed. Are you deaf? I said you're a slave. From the looks of it, you must have been ordered to come out by someone. Tell me, who gave you the idea? At this moment, the crowd was shocked. They didn't expect a battle to take place in Sanyue Square. Moreover, they didn't expect Morong Qingcheng to be unscathed. Not only that, but a handsome young man with a strong aura had appeared. In an instant, everyone was watching anxiously. Who do you think you are? How dare you question us? One of the middle-aged women snorted. Kid, let us go if you know what's good for you. Otherwise, I'll kill you. You must be tired of living. Lin Xian sneered, then waved his hand. Suddenly, the golden sky rock in the sky shone brightly. Bang! In the next moment, one of the middle-aged women was crushed by the golden sky rock, turning into a bloody mist that splattered in all directions. What? She was killed. The crowd was shocked and couldn't believe it. That was a one-star king. How could she be killed so easily? Who exactly was this handsome young man? How could he be so powerful? In the sky, the other surviving middle-aged woman screamed. That was because the blood of her companions had sprayed all over her face. Frightening, it was too frightening. She didn't expect that the other party would dare to attack her. Was he not afraid of revenge? In the next moment, she looked down. However, when she saw the cold light in Lin Xian's eyes, her whole body trembled. That gaze was too terrifying. It was as if it could kill her instantly. At this moment, the middle-aged woman couldn't care less. She screamed, Miss, save me. Humph! Below, the arrogant young woman's face was cold. She had sent 2 of her subordinates to kill Morong Qingcheng. She thought it would be a piece of cake. However, she didn't expect that there would be a change. Moreover, one of her subordinates was killed in an instant. She couldn't accept that. How dare you? Let go of my men. The arrogant young woman raised her chin and looked down at Lin Xian. Chapter 1514. So, it was you? Lin Xian looked at the arrogant girl with a cold, killing intent in his eyes. He had long suspected her because no one else had a reason to attack. There was only one person who had a reason to attack, and that was the arrogant girl who had also activated 7 rays of light. Now it seemed that it was indeed so. What? She was the one who attacked? Seeing the arrogant girl, the crowd exclaimed. They didn't expect her to be another top prodigy. It seemed that this matter was going to be troublesome. Wasn't she the second miss of the Dong clan? Someone exclaimed. What? The Dong clan? The crowd exclaimed. The Dong clan was a large clan in the Dexian Empire and was very powerful. For a moment, everyone exclaimed again and again as they looked at the arrogant girl with shock. Hearing the exclamations, the arrogant girl Dong Qian became even more proud. Like a proud peacock, she raised her chin high and said coldly, Did you hear that? You won't have a good ending if you offend my Dong clan. I won't make things difficult for you. Release my people and kneel down to apologize to me, and I'll let you leave. Otherwise, I'll let you die without a burial place. Dong Qian had a superior attitude because, in her opinion, as long as she mentioned the Dong clan, the other party would definitely not dare to find trouble and would definitely surrender obediently. If it was a martial artist from the Dexian Empire, perhaps this move would really work. But this time, she was wrong, because Lin Xian wasn't from the Dexian Empire at all. Furthermore, given Lin Xian's character, he would never submit to anyone. Sure enough, Lin Xian sneered. You really have a heart of snakes and scorpions. What's the use of someone like you being talented? You'll only be a scourge in the future when you grow up. Might as well get rid of you as soon as possible. What did you say? Dong Qian screamed like a cat, whose tail had been stepped on. She was so angry that her whole body trembled. The other party dared to insult her? How was this possible? Was he not afraid of death? The crowd was also shocked. They thought that the matter was over, but they didn't expect that Lin Xian would actually dare to fight back. Heavens, does this guy not know the Dong clan? Could he be from abroad? It's possible. Discussions broke out one after another. They guessed that Lin Xian wasn't from the great Xian Empire. Otherwise, he wouldn't have dared to fight back after hearing about the Dong family's reputation. Dong Qian sneered. Humph. So, he's just a country bumpkin. Kid, listen well. My Dong clan is a first-rate clan in the Grand Xian Empire, and it's far from something a country bumpkin like you can afford to offend. So, I advise you to obediently kneel down and apologize. If I'm in a good mood, I might let you off. Otherwise, there will be no place for you in the entire Great Xian Empire. What Dong family? You think too highly of yourself. Lin Xian coldly harumphed. He waved his hand, and the golden rock in the sky once again shone brightly, crushing the other middle-aged woman into a bloody mist. Pung! A deep voice sounded, and a blood-red mist spread out in all directions. What? Killed again? Everyone was shocked, and their scalps went numb. They didn't expect that the other party would be so decisive, and even disregard the Dong family. On the other hand, Dong Qian was so angry that her face turned pale. Brat, you dare to offend my Dong clan? You're dead meat. Dead meat? I don't think so. You'd better worry about yourself first. Lin Xian sneered and walked forward. What do you want? Dong Qian trembled when she saw him walking toward her. What do I want? Of course I want to kill you. Lin Xian's voice was as cold as the god of death. How dare you? My lady is the second lady of the Dong clan. Moreover, she's a top genius who has activated 7 rays of light. You dare to touch my lady? You're dead meat. The Dong clan and the other sects won't let you off. Seeing Lin Xian walking toward them, 4 middle-aged women immediately appeared to protect Dong Qian. Dong Qian also screamed, "Despicable and shameless! Despicable and shameless?" Lin Xian sneered. You're not despicable and shameless when you kill people. I'm just doing the same thing as you. Lin Xian's voice spread clearly in all directions. Hearing this, everyone fell silent. Yes, if the lady of the Dong clan had not been despicable and shameless and attacked first, he would not have attacked first. Speaking of which, Lin Xian was the victim. Humph! Who am I and who is she? How can we be compared to each other? You bunch of country bumpkins, go to hell! Dong Qian screamed, her eyes full of viciousness. Is that so? Let's see who's going to die. Lin Xian's body emitted a dazzling light, and his aura kept rising. The martial artists and guards of the Dong clan broke out in a cold sweat because Lin Xian's aura was too strong. Ha boy, I've finally found you. At this critical moment, insolent laughter rang out, and then countless figures rushed toward Lin Xian. Along with them came a monstrous pressure and terrifying energy. The next moment, dozens of figures landed on the square again. They're from the Zhao clan. What? Why are they here too? Everyone was extremely shocked when they saw this scene. That's right, these people were martial artists from the Zhao clan. They had been searching for Lin Xian all the way and finally met him here. Boy, you dare to kill the people of the Zhao clan. Today is the day you die. Kneel down and accept your death, and I'll leave you with an intact corpse. Ha ha! I heard that you have 3 beauties by your side. This time, you must bring them back and enjoy them. Boy, this is what you get for provoking the Zhao clan. Hearing this, everyone's scalp went numb. They did not expect Lin Xian and his group to provoke the Zhao clan. How audacious! Like the Dong clan, the Zhao clan was a first-rate clan in the empire of Dexian. Their strength was terrifying, and no one dared to provoke them. However, They did not expect that Lin Xian would provoke two first-rate clans at the same time. Humph, what a reckless boy. Looks like I don't have to do anything. Your life will be gone. Dong Qian sneered. Isn't this the Dong clan's girl? Why are you here? The three elders of the Zhao clan asked. After greeting the three elders, Dong Qian quickly bowed and said, This boy is too hateful. He saw that my talent was outstanding and wanted to kill me to silence me. What? There's such a thing? How audacious. We must kill him today. The Zhao clan elder and the Dong clan martial artist smiled sinisterly and walked forward step by step. Humph, how shameless. Snakes and rats from the same nest. Lin Xian's voice was cold. What happened today? Everyone here saw it. Whether it's black or white, I think it won't be long before everyone in the world knows. So what if they know? When that time comes, you'll be a dead man. The Zhao clan elder smiled, sinisterly. Who would stand up for a dead man? And who do you think dares to provoke the Zhao clan? Lin Xian sneered. So, you're saying that you've got me? Chapter 15:15. To be honest, although this matter was troublesome, it was not fatal. This was because among the Zhao family cultivators, the strongest was only a late-stage 2-star king. There was not a single 3-star king. Lin Xian's current strength was enough to defeat any 2-star king. As for 3-star kings, they might not even be his match. Therefore, none of these people were his match. Even if there were more of them, he would only need to spend a little more effort. Therefore, he was not afraid at all. Qingcheng, continue the test. Lin Xian turned around and said to Murong Qingcheng. He knew that Murong Qingcheng had not activated her bloodline power yet. This meant that Murong Qingcheng's talent was definitely above the 7 rays of light. Okay. Murong Qingcheng nodded. She also knew Lin Xian's strength. Moreover, she knew that only by displaying a stronger talent could she suppress these people. Therefore, in the next moment, she placed her slender hand on the light pillar again. Humph, it's useless to test again. No matter how talented a dead person is, it's useless. The Zhao family elder sneered. However, Dong Qian seemed to have thought of something and screamed, kill her quickly. We can't let her test again. This was because she had thought of a possibility. Murong Qingcheng's talent was above hers, above the 7 rays of light. If that was the case, then things would be troublesome. Killing a genius of the same level as her would increase her value. However, if she killed a genius more outstanding than her, then she would be courting death. At that time, the big sex would definitely punish her. Therefore, she could not let Murong Qingcheng test again. Hearing this, 4 middle-aged women flew out and formed a sword formation. They quickly charged toward Murong Qingcheng. These were 4 1-star kings. When they joined forces, their strength was extremely powerful, even comparable to that of a 2-star king. They had already seen Lin Xian's cultivation before. He was only a 1-star king. Murong Qingcheng behind him was also only a 1-star king. The two of them together would definitely not be able to defeat them. Therefore, the 4 middle-aged women were very confident. However, Lin Xian snorted and flicked his fingers. 4 void-shattering fingers flew out quickly. Pung, 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 pung. The 4 rays of light were like lightning, instantly piercing through the heads of the 4 middle-aged women. Blood splattered everywhere as the corpse stopped in midair and crashed to the ground. What? They were all killed. Everyone was shocked, not daring to believe it. This was far too frightening, right? Those were 4 1-star king tiers. Moreover, when they joined forces, they were already equivalent to 2-star king tiers. However, he was actually obliterated by someone in an instant. What kind of method was this? Damn it, how is this possible? Dong Qian's face was pale. When they joined forces, they were extremely powerful. No matter how strong the other party was, it was impossible for him to escape. On the other side, the Zhao family's elder had already arrived near Lin Xian. The terrifying palm covered the sky and completely enveloped Lin Xian and Murong Qingcheng. The wind whistled, and the void trembled. This palm could definitely turn a two-star king into a bloody mist. Therefore, many people exclaimed in surprise. In their opinion, Lin Xian and Murong Qingcheng could not dodge at all. However, Lin Xian sneered. He waved his hand, and a black demonic sword appeared in his hand. It was the Nine Darkness demonic sword. In the next moment, he waved the demonic sword, and a black sword chi instantly streaked across the sky. A black crack instantly appeared in the void, but it quickly healed. In the sky, the huge palm quickly disappeared and finally broke into two halves. The Zhao family's elder also landed on the ground, his body trembling slightly. What's wrong? What happened? Everyone's eyes widened because Lin Xian's sword technique was too fast. They did not see it clearly at all. They only saw Lin Xian pull out a demonic sword, and then the terrifying palm disappeared. Dong Qian also did not see the sword clearly, but she had a bad feeling in her heart. The other two elders of the Zhao family were frowning. One of them moved forward and asked quickly, "What's wrong with you? Are you okay?" However, with a gentle push, the elder who attacked earlier fell to the ground with a plop. What happened? Everyone was shocked and stretched their necks to look. Then they screamed. Chapter 15:16. That old man gave a light push, and immediately the elder who had attacked earlier fell to the ground with a plop. Judging by his stiffness, he seemed to have lost his vitality. This caused everyone to be extremely puzzled. What happened? Everyone was shocked. They craned their necks and looked over. Then they screamed. There was a thin red line between the eyebrows of the elder of the Zhao family, which extended to his abdomen. That was a sword mark. Could it be that the elder of the Zhao family is dead? Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air, extremely shocked. That's right, the elder of the Zhao family was killed. The red line on his body was the sword mark displayed by Lin Xian. The sword was too fast. No one saw it clearly. Even when the elder of the Zhao family died, his body did not split open. Impossible! How is this possible? The two elders outside felt their scalps go numb. They could not believe it at all. That was a late-stage two-star challenger. His strength was terrifying, but the other party killed him with a single sword strike. What kind of strength did he have to do that? They did not dare to imagine. Dong Qian was also scared out of her wits. Impossible. I don't believe it. Careless. I must have been careless. Seniors, you must go all out to kill this little thief. Dong Qian screamed crazily because she was too scared. Even a late-stage two-star challenger was killed with a single sword strike. They could not resist at all. Hearing Dong Qian's words, the two elders of the Zhang family looked at each other. Yes, we must have been careless. This kid can't be so strong. The two of them were ready to go all out to kill Lin Xian. However, at this moment, the light beam behind them changed again. After the 8th light beam, the 9th light beam lit up again. What? 9 rays of light. Everyone was completely dumbfounded. Even the two elders of the Zhao family stopped in their tracks. 9 light beams. What kind of talent was that? It had not appeared for hundreds of years. To be honest, the two of them did not dare to do anything now. If such a genius was killed by them, the major sects would definitely be furious. By then, they would not be the only ones to suffer. Even the entire Zhao family would be implicated. For a moment, everyone was stunned. At the same time, the people of the major sects also received the news of the test. When they sensed the 9 rays of light, many sects took action. 9 rays of light was already very good. Such a genius must not be missed. Immediately, many sects began to move. They had to snatch this genius before everyone else. However, some of these sects were near, while others were far away, but within the Dacian Empire. These sects had their training grounds. The Cool Breeze Dao Hall was a branch of the Cool Breeze faction. One of them, an old man in a green robe, looked at the light pillar in front of him and smiled. A genius with 9 rays of light. I definitely can't miss this opportunity. Ha ha ha! I'm the closest to the Dark Moon Dojo. On the other side, a burly middle-aged man in a red robe was moving quickly. Other than that, there was also a Taoist nun riding a blue wand, as well as an expert riding a flying sword. Without exception, they all flew towards the Dark Moon Dojo. It was obvious that their target was the genius who had activated the 9 rays of light. It was Morong Chingcheng. However, these people didn't know that after they left, the testing light pillar lit up again. This beam of light was like a divine chain that completely covered the entire area. The light that it emitted was even brighter than the sun. 10 rays of light. Everyone was shocked and dumbfounded. 10 rays of light. It had been close to 1,000 years since someone had appeared. Who would have thought that it would appear again? This time, not only were the subsidiary sects alarmed, but even the sacred grounds were alarmed. The eastern wasteland was vast and boundless. The Dacian Empire was only one of the countries on this continent, and its strength was only average. However, there were still a few overlords in the eastern wasteland. They were the sacred grounds and the remote antiquity families. Among them, the remote antiquity families were mainly clans. Most of them were descendants of emperors, and they didn't accept outsiders. Therefore, they wouldn't choose disciples from outside. However, the sacred grounds were different. They searched the entire continent for peerless geniuses to become disciples. These two seemed to have their own advantages, but until now, the sacred grounds and the remote antiquity families were still the pinnacle of existence. No one could surpass them unless a true emperor appeared. However, it had been a long time since an emperor had appeared in the true spirit world. In a fairyland somewhere in the eastern wasteland, flowing water flowed, birds sang, and flowers bloomed. Rainbows formed a bridge, and spiritual energy surrounded it. This place was like a fairyland. Purple energy floated, bringing with it a hint of mystery. This was a sacred ground in the eastern wasteland, the Purple Glow Sacred Ground. At this moment, in a testing area in the Purple Glow Sacred Ground, a light pillar suddenly exploded with a bright light. It was like a purple sun shining in all directions. The disciple in charge of guarding was shocked. He had never seen such a situation before, so he quickly reported it to the higher-ups of the sect. Soon, this strange phenomenon alarmed the entire Holy Land. A few people surrounded by purple energy descended. They stared at the sun-like light and were extremely shocked. This phenomenon, could it be that bloodline? An elder in a purple robe was excited. That's right, it's definitely that bloodline constitution. Beside him, a middle-aged Taoist nun stood on a cloud like a fairy. Her eyes were also filled with shock. Chapter 15-17. That's right. Send a few elders over and seal off the news until she safely enters the Purple Glow Sacred Land. Hearing that, the disciples around them were shocked. Their eyes widened in disbelief. What kind of bloodline is it? Why are these powerhouses so concerned about it? The disciples around them were shocked. Their eyes were wide open in disbelief. What kind of bloodline is it? Why are these powerhouses so concerned about it? They did not know what kind of bloodline it was, but they knew that if anything happened to her, it would definitely cause the entire purple glow sacred land to go crazy. In the end, the middle-aged Taoist nun sighed and said, "Forget it. I'll go with you. Otherwise, I won't be at ease." "All right." The purple-robed elder nodded. Then the middle-aged Taoist nun turned into a purple light and disappeared into the sky. Lin Xian and the others did not know about the commotion in the purple glow sacred land. However, the entire Tsangyue Square was in shock. They looked at the 10 bright lights in front of them and were all stunned. 10 lights. Heavens, what did I just see? A miracle. It's definitely a miracle. 10 lights haven't appeared in more than 1,000 years, right? This is too heaven-defying. This beautiful woman is definitely a top genius. At that moment, everyone was shocked, and their hearts were beating wildly. As for the warriors of the Zhao family and the Dong family, their faces were pale and filled with despair. 10 rays of light. His opponent had actually activated 10 rays of light. How was this possible? Now, even if they wanted to kill her, they did not dare to act rashly. That was because 10 lights were enough to enter those legendary sacred lands. Those were truly peerless sacred lands. Its power was unimaginable. It was not something that they could fight against. Thinking of that, they even trembled. Among them, the warriors of the Zhao family had extremely ugly expressions. They almost knelt on the ground. Dong Qin no longer looked arrogant. Her face was extremely pale, and she even wanted to run away. Lin Xian was also surprised. He did not expect Morong Qingcheng to trigger 10 lights and cause such a commotion. But soon after, he started laughing. That was because the situation was too satisfying. Just by looking at the reactions of the Zhao and Dong families, he knew that Morong Qingcheng's talent was definitely beyond imagination. Most people would not dare to touch her at all. This made him feel much more at ease. He too was also surprised because he did not expect Morong Qingcheng to be able to unleash 10 pillars of light. Morong Qingcheng's smile bloomed like a flower. She heaved a heavy sigh of relief in her heart. She knew she was safe. Not only her, but Lin Xian and the others were also safe. Not long after, the sound of something breaking through the air came from the sky. Then, powerful figures descended one after another. At this moment, the lady from the Blue Flower sect said, "Let's stop arguing. Let her choose." "Okay, okay, okay." The other 3 agreed. In the next moment, the 4 of them looked at Morong Qingcheng again. "Little girl, which sect do you want to join?" Qing Fengzi asked. "My Cool Breeze sect is a subsidiary sect of the Jade Lake Sacred Ground. It's very powerful. If you join us, you might have a chance to enter the Jade Lake Sacred Ground. If you join my Blue Flower sect, you'll have a chance to—" The lady in blue did not let it go. Obviously, the Blue Flower sect was also a subsidiary sect of the Jade Lake Sacred Ground. "Azure Ocean Palace is better. If you join, I'll make you a core disciple," the burly middle-aged man said. "Core disciple." Hearing this, everyone exclaimed. They did not expect her to become a core disciple as soon as she entered. There were different types of sect disciples, and the best type was the core disciple. This condition tempted countless people. The Northern Sword sect's treatment is better. I'll recommend you to become the sect leader's disciple. Whoosh! Everyone was shocked and went crazy. However, Morong Qingcheng smiled bitterly. She did not know how to choose. Originally, she only wanted to join a subsidiary sect, but now there were 4 subsidiary sections. For a moment, it was hard for her to choose. Lin Xian was also speechless. It seemed that being too talented was also a problem. She's not going anywhere. However, at this moment, another voice was heard, and it resounded in all directions. This voice was full of majesty, and it made everyone's hair stand on end. Even the few experts in the sky frowned when they heard this. Chapter 15:18. That voice shocked everyone. Could it be that the sex came to fight again? Everyone looked into the distance again. Even the four powerhouses in the sky also turned their heads one after another. The next moment, everyone was stunned, especially those four powerhouses. Their faces changed drastically, only to see in the distant sky a purple glow flew over quickly. At first, it was still very far, but in the blink of an eye, it already arrived in front of them. The multicolored light enveloped three figures, two men and one woman. One of them was a middle-aged man, the other was a youth and a young woman. The three people were all surrounded by purple light. Although their cultivation could not be seen clearly, the aura emitted was even more terrifying than the previous four powerhouses. Which sect are these people from? Everyone in the square looked up at the sky, extremely puzzled. Indeed, they had never seen them before. However, the faces of those four powerhouses changed drastically. Among them, that old man Qing Fengzi even cried out in surprise. Purple Afterglow Holy Land. You guys are from Purple Afterglow Holy Land. What? Purple Afterglow Holy Land. They are genius martial artists of the Holy Land. Hearing this, everyone was extremely shocked. Shocking. This was really too shocking. One had to know that they had never seen martial artists from the Holy Land, because although the Great Xian Empire was powerful compared to the Holy Land, it was much worse. At most, it was only equivalent to those affiliated sects of the Holy Land. Therefore, those Holy Land martial artists would not come at all. Even if they came, these people would not see them. But they did not expect that the Holy Land martial artists actually came to this Blue Moon Square now. Heavens, these Holy Land martial artists wouldn't have come for that stunning girl, right? Defying the heavens. This kind of thing has already not happened for more than 1,000 years. Everyone was extremely envious, while the Zhao family people were sweating cold sweat. The worst thing they expected had happened. The other party had finally attracted the Holy Land's attention. Now, they did not dare to touch the other party at all, and even had to worry about being retaliated by the other party. Thinking of here, they had an impulse to run away. On the other side, Dong Chen was even more gnashing her teeth. She was really going crazy with jealousy. In the sky, Qing Fengzi and the other three were also puzzled. They did not expect that the Purple Afterglow Holy Land people would actually come. Could it be that they also came for that genius below? They could not understand, because when they left, they only knew that the other party activated 9 light pillars. As for the matter of the 10 pillars of light, they did not know. Moreover, they didn't know that the other party had a special bloodline physique that made the Purple Afterglow Holy Land go crazy. He knew that Shen Jingqiu and Luo Bingshan were talented and could at least enter an affiliated sect. That was why he stopped the 4 of them. Okay, I'll take a look. Qing Fengzi was interested. The other 3 stayed as well. Anyway, it wouldn't take much time. Qiu'er, you do it. Lin Xian waved his hand. Oh, Shen Jingqiu nodded and walked over. Another peerless beauty. The crowd exclaimed and was envious. This kid is too lucky. He has 3 peerless beauties by his side. Yeah, who is he? A group of people discussed. Shen Jingqiu quickly came to the front of the light pillar and placed her hand on it. Suddenly, the light pillar shone brightly. 1, 2, 3. Soon, 7 light pillars lit up. The crowd's hearts were in their mouths. 8. The crowd swallowed their saliva and widened their eyes, because the 9th light pillar lit up. 9 again, many people exclaimed. They realized that another top genius had appeared. Moreover, it was another peerless beauty. Heavens, where did they come from? In the sky, Qing Fengzi and the other three were surprised. They were just curious and didn't expect the other party to really activate 9 light pillars. With such talent, they could enter their sect. Not bad. Not bad. Little girl, your talent is abnormally good. To be able to gather together, what a surprise. The few of them nodded, and their eyes flickered. They were ready to snatch the person again. However, in the next moment, they were stunned again. Even their faces were filled with shock. Not only the 4 experts, but the entire square was stunned again. Everyone was in a daze. Even Lin Xian widened his eyes, because the 10th light pillar appeared again. Chapter 1519. What? Another 10 beams of light. Everyone was stunned and couldn't believe it. This was too shocking. They had just witnessed a genius with 10 beams of light. They didn't expect to see it again. For a moment, everyone was dumbfounded. In the sky, the 4 peerless experts were also stunned. Originally, they only wanted to see it out of curiosity, but they didn't expect another peerless genius to appear. Thinking of this, the corners of their mouths twitched. Although this kind of genius was good, they couldn't get their hands on it. This kind of genius was destined to enter the sacred ground. To be honest, Lin Xian was also stunned when he saw this. He didn't expect Shun Jingqiu's talent to be the same as Murong Qingqing's. But then he smiled. This made him feel more at ease. However, they didn't know that behind these 10 beams of light, there was an earth-shattering event. Eastern Wilderness, another sacred ground, Jade Lake Sacred Ground. Jade Lake was a place in ancient myths, but since this sacred ground dared to name itself Jade Lake, one could imagine how terrifying it was. At this moment, something happened in the Jade Lake Sacred Ground. Their testing beam of light suddenly bloomed with endless light. Then, a phoenix quickly formed and rushed into the sky. That phoenix hovered in the sky and then dropped tens of thousands of beams of light. There was even a mysterious sound in the sky. Zither and phoenix cry. This phenomenon directly alarmed the entire sacred ground. Phoenix bloodline. This is the phoenix physique. Heavens! This legendary bloodline has actually appeared again. They were too excited. In the true spirit world, there were many special bloodlines and physiques. Some of them were very special. They were favored by the heavens and earth and contained powerful energy. The phoenix bloodline was one of them. Quick, we must find her. Immediately, the entire Jade Lake moved quickly. On the other side, Great Xian Empire, Songyue Square. Everyone was still in a daze. At this moment, a green mist appeared in the sky. The green mist swirled with light, bringing with it a terrifying energy that made people tremble all over. Ha ha! A genius with 10 beams of light? I didn't expect to find her. Since that's the case, follow me. The green mist rolled quickly and then surged downward. It was like a long green river. It was extremely strange. The green waves spread and quickly enveloped Xinjingqiu. You're courting death, Lin Xian roared and slashed out with his sword. However, he was unable to resist it. This was because the green mist was simply too terrifying. Soon his sword chi was shattered. However, at this moment, the 4 experts in the sky made their move. Humph! Qing Fengzi snorted and quickly made his move. With a flick of his sleeve, the void trembled, forming a ray of light that slashed forward. It was like a bolt of snow-white lightning that illuminated the void. Boom. The attack collided with the green weapon, creating a loud boom, but it was unable to block it. What? Qing Fengzi was stunned, not daring to believe it. Watch me. A woman from the Blue Flower sect made her move. Her blue hair fluttered in the wind, her eyes were clear, and her temperament was incomparably ethereal. A blue petal appeared on his body, quickly expanding and pushing out. Bang! It was as if a sudden clap of thunder had exploded in the heavens and the earth, causing the void to shake and hum. This energy was too terrifying, shaking the martial artists below until their faces turned pale. However, he still couldn't block it. That green light quickly rushed downwards. Along with it, there was a disdainful voice. "Humph, just a few 4-star kings, and you want to stop me? What a joke." "Damn it, who are you?" the woman from Blue Flower Sect asked in a deep voice. "Oh no, are you the green-robed king?" Ching Fengzi exclaimed. "Ha ha, I didn't expect anyone to recognize me." That voice was very arrogant. "Since you know me, why don't you get lost?" With an angry roar, the void exploded, and a terrifying energy swept in all directions. Not good. In the sky, the 4 people's faces changed drastically. They quickly counterattacked. The North Sword Sect was the first to make a move. The blood-red sword in his hand emitted a cold light piercing towards the green mist. This attack was very terrifying, erupting with a dazzling light like a sudden clap of thunder, shaking the entire void. It was clearly a ray of sword chi, but it was incomparably sharp like a divine rainbow descending. Kill. At the same time, the burly middle-aged man from Deep Sea Palace also moved. A blue fist blasted out, and it was incomparably violent. It directly pierced through the void and arrived in front of him. Ching Fengzi and the Blue Flower Sect also erupted, pouncing over to stop the green mist. In an instant, a terrifying energy exploded. Everyone was stunned, not expecting such an unforeseen event to occur. They quickly retreated and watched nervously. Bang, bang, bang. A series of low sounds rang out, and then Ching Fengzi and the other 3 were forced to retreat. Damn it, he's a 5-star king. Damn it. The 4 people's faces were ugly. They were only 4-star kings, and even if they joined forces, they couldn't fight against a 5-star king. What? A 5-star king? Hearing this, everyone was stunned, and Lin Xian's face was also gloomy. A 5-star king was too terrifying. Although he had the great dragon sword soul, he probably couldn't block it. "Ha ha ha, now you know how powerful I am." That voice was very arrogant. "Get lost, or don't blame me for starting a massacre. Green-robed king, although you're strong, I advise you not to make a move." That's a genius that the sacred ground has taken a fancy to. Ching Fengzi gritted his teeth and said, "Sacred ground? Humph, don't scare me." Green-robed king sneered. "The sacred ground is powerful, but they won't come here. By the time they come, I'll be long gone." "Ha ha! That girl looks good, and her talent is even better. She should be able to improve my green shadow divine technique to another level." As he spoke, he looked up to the sky and laughed. The 4 people's faces were ugly, and Shen Jingqiu's face was pale. Just when everyone was in despair, the void trembled. Then light bloomed, and waves of ripples spread out. Everyone was stunned, and they looked up. In the sky, the void seemed to have been torn apart, and a black hole appeared. Then, a jade-like foot stepped out of the black hole. Then, a figure that was blooming with light appeared. Thousands of rays of light shone down, as if a fairy had descended to the mortal world. Although they couldn't see her face, they could vaguely tell that she was a woman. "Who's making a move?" A cold voice sounded. "Humph, who are you? How dare you interfere with my business?" Green-robed king sneered. "How dare you touch my Jade Lakes people? Die." The cold voice sounded again. "What? Jade Lake? It's the sacred ground." Everyone exclaimed in disbelief. Ching Fengzi and the girl from Blue Flower Sect also quickly bowed. "What? Jade Lake's sacred ground?" Green-robed king's face changed. Then he didn't care about anything else and turned to run. although he had defeated Qing Fengzi and the other three, and although he was a 5-star king, he was nothing in front of a sacred ground. He could only run. You still want to run? Stay. A cold voice rang out. Immediately, the hazy silhouette struck out with a palm. Chapter 1520. With a wave of his palm, rays of light danced in the air. This palm was too bright. It was like the sun, causing the entire world to lose its color. Damn it, block it. The green-robed king roared in anger, and then used his king domain. Suddenly, a green domain quickly shrouded him. The entire void trembled, forming a green fortress that quickly resisted the shining palm in the sky. Boom! In the next moment, a low sound was heard. The Green King's domain exploded, turning into countless fragments. Not only that, but the green-robed king's body also exploded, forming a cloud of blood mist. In front of this palm, the domain that he was so proud of and the strength of a 5-star king were useless. What? The green-robed king was killed. Everyone was shocked and gasped. That was a 5-star king, and he was killed with a single palm? They couldn't believe it. One had to know that the green-robed king had defeated Qing Fengzi and the other three. He was extremely powerful. However, such a powerful figure couldn't even block a single move. What cultivation level did that woman reach? She was so terrifying. Was this the strength of a sacred ground? So powerful. Lin Xian also raised his head, his eyes flickering with shock. That palm strike just now made his hair stand on end. It also let him know the strength of a sacred ground. No wonder they were the overlords of the true spirit world. They were indeed powerful. Follow me. In the sky, the shining figure said slowly. Hearing this, Shen Jingqiu turned her head and looked at Lin Xian. Brother Lin Xian, I'm leaving. Remember to find me. I'll miss you. Then her figure floated into the sky. Together with the figure from the Jade Lake sacred ground, she entered the black hole again. In the next moment, the two figures entered the black hole, and the black vortex also quickly disappeared. In the end, the entire sky became clear again. Everyone heaved a sigh of relief. The scene just now was like a dream. Qing Fengzi and the other three also sighed, then looked at Lin Xian again. Kid, you still have a friend. Let her take the test. Hearing this, everyone's mouth twitched as they looked at Lin Xian strangely. Because the first two people were geniuses who had triggered 10 rays of light, they wanted to know if the third person was also a genius. Bingshan, you do it. Lin Xian nodded and waved at Luo Bingshan. Then Luo Bingshan walked to the front of the light pillar. This time it wasn't 10 rays, but 9 rays. In the end, 9 rays of light. Luckily, it wasn't 10 rays of light, or else it would be too heaven-defying. In the sky, Qing Fengzi and the other three heaved a sigh of relief. Luckily, a genius with 9 rays of light was just right for them. This trip was not a trip. Kid. The moment Qing Fengzi asked this question, he regretted it, because the void split open again, and a figure walked out. That figure was mysterious. His body was shrouded in countless demonic clouds, and it was impossible to see clearly. However, the aura that emanated from his body was incomparably terrifying. He was like a demon standing in the air. He didn't look at anyone and didn't say anything. Waving his hand, the demonic clouds rolled and covered Luo Bingshan, then brought him away. Everyone was stunned. The whole place was eerily quiet. Lin Xian frowned. He didn't even know which sect he was from. He sighed and shook his head. This was Luo Bingshan's opportunity, and he couldn't interfere. Hopefully, there would be a chance to see him again. In the sky, Qing Fengzi and the other three were speechless. They finally found a genius with 9 rays of light. They wanted to take him in, but they didn't expect such a change to happen. However, they didn't dare to say anything because the aura of the previous figure was too scary. It made their hair stand. Kid, do you have any friends? Or do you want to take the test? Qing Fengzi didn't give up and looked at Lin Xian again. Lin Xian shook his head. The 3 people he brought had already taken the test, and he wouldn't take the test. At the sight of this, Qing Fengzi and the other 3 sighed. Their bodies then flashed as they left the place swiftly. What? They left! Everyone was stunned. They didn't expect the 4 of them to leave. Dong Qian was the one with the worst expression. She was completely dumbfounded. One had to know that she was also a genius who had activated 7 rays of light and was able to enter an affiliated sect. However, those 4 powerhouses from before did not even glance at her and directly flew away. This made her feel hopeless. It's you. It's all your fault. It's all because of you that I missed this chance. She glared viciously at Lin Xian, her face full of malice. Humph! Lin Xian snorted coldly. You're a piece of trash and you're blaming it on others? What a joke! What did you say? Dong Qian screamed. Kill him! Kill him for me! Yes, Mississippi. Suddenly, an old woman with a walking stick walked out from behind her. Her face was full of wrinkles. Her aura was asking for a beating. She was also a late 2-star king. At the same time, the 2 elders of the Zhao family also walked up. The 3 of them stood side by side, and their killing intent surged. They had no choice. They had already offended Lin Xian, and they had to kill him quickly. Otherwise, they would be finished when Lin Xian joined forces with the disciples of the Holy Lands. Humph! So what if your friends have entered the Holy Lands? They are them, and you are you. You might not be able to contact each other in this lifetime. Since you dared to offend us, you can die obediently. The 3 of them quickly used their king domains and attacked Lin Xian. The terrifying king domains shone brightly and cut the void apart. The 3 king domains carried a shocking killing intent as they rushed over. Lin Xian's expression was cold. His body swayed, and he quickly dodged the attack. Boom! The place where he was fighting turned into a black hole. Humph! Let's see how you dodge. The 3 of them laughed maliciously and attacked again. Since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish. Lin Xian's voice was cold as he quickly used the dragon sword domain. Suddenly, a green light appeared around him, and countless sword chi formed a special domain. Buzz, buzz, buzz. In the next moment, the 4 domains collided, and a shocking sound rang out. Humph! So what if you're strong? Do you think you can stop the 3 of us? The old woman sneered. The 2 elders of the Zhao family also looked ferocious. They were confident that they could kill Lin Xian. Not good. That kid is in danger. Yes, 3 late 2-star kings. He can't stop them at all. Everyone shook their heads. Lin Xian roared, and the dragon sword domain trembled. Sword chi exploded, and a green light rushed into the sky. Then Lin Xian's body flickered with a shocking killing intent. At this moment, everyone was shocked, and their expressions changed greatly. Chapter 15:21. This aura was too terrifying. Everyone felt a chill down their spines. Lin Xian's dragon sword realm rolled rapidly, and countless rays of light gathered on his arm. Then, a Qilin phantom appeared, looking disdainfully at the surroundings. It carried an extremely terrifying energy, as if it was going to destroy the world. Accompanying it was a low roar that made one's scalp tingle. Qilin arm. This was one of the ultimate skills that Lin Xian had learned on the Black Earth. At this moment, it was extremely powerful. After using the Qilin arm, Lin Xian roared and punched out. The Qilin roared, carrying a terrifying energy as it quickly bombarded the front. Suddenly, the expressions of the three late-stage two-star kings from the Zhao and Dong family changed. Boom. There was a shocking collision. Then, the Qilin arm ruthlessly collided with the three realms, emitting a terrifying energy. Ka, ka, ka. Under everyone's shocked gazes, cracks appeared on the three realms. What? How is this possible? Everyone's scalp tingled in disbelief. What kind of power was this? How could it be so terrifying? How could it shatter their realms with a single punch? One had to know that the three of them were late-stage two-star kings. When they joined forces, they were extremely terrifying. However, Yi Fuqian had actually shattered their king's domains with a single punch. This was simply too shocking. Damn it, quickly counterattack and kill him. The old lady from the Dong family roared crazily. Then she activated her Silver King realm and slashed out a huge silver half-moon. Silver moon slash. A shocking ray of light, like a crescent moon, quickly streaked across the void. Space splitting slash. A black sword ray quickly bombarded and slashed down. Death roar. On the other side, the king realm vibrated and formed a ghost head, letting out a shocking roar. The three late-stage two-star kings performed extremely powerful ultimate skills at this moment, quickly attacking Lin Xian. Lin Xian, on the other hand, let out a long roar as the dragon sword domain erupted with an incomparably dazzling light. Qilin arm, Qilin kill. In an instant, the power of the dragon sword realm circulated crazily, supporting the Qilin wall. Suddenly, the entire arm bloomed with incomparably bright light. The illusory image of the Qilin became even more solid, as if it was a real divine beast. In the next instant, Lin Xian punched out, forcefully blocking the three king-level attacks. Boom, boom. An earth-shattering collision sound rang out once again, and the entire void became distorted. In the sky, the ultimate moves of the three great kings were smashed apart by this single punch, shattering into countless shards. The expressions of the three kings changed as they were sent flying. What? He was sent flying? Everyone exclaimed in disbelief. Damn it, this is impossible. Dong Qian's face was also pale. She couldn't believe it. She didn't expect him to be so powerful. As for the three late-stage two-star king tiers, their expressions were even more horrified. What kind of power was this? It actually made them tremble. Is he really a one-star king? How could there be such power? Even more terrifying than a three-star king? They truly had no idea what was going on. However, they knew that the other party's strength was beyond their imagination. At that moment, they simply did not dare to stay there, and quickly fled. The old woman waved her hand, instantly wrapping Dong Qian up and flying into the distance. The two elders of the Zhao family also joined forces to escape. Trying to escape? Lin Xian sneered. His body was like a ray of sword light as he quickly chased after them. He was chasing the two elders of the Zhao family, while the crimson dragon flew towards the martial artist of the Dong family. Boom, boom. Two sounds rang out, and then those who had fled flew back once again. Everyone was shocked, and their scalps went numb. As for Dong Qian, she screamed, "If you dare to touch me, the Dong family will not let you off." Slap. The crimson dragon waved its claw and directly slapped the other party. Immediately, a red mark appeared on her delicate face. "You talk too much." The crimson dragon snorted coldly. This guy actually dared to kill Morong Qingsheng, which made him very unhappy. On the other side, the two martial artists of the Zhao family also said coldly, "Kid, do you really want to be enemies with us? You have to think carefully. Our Zhao family and Dong family are first-rate families in the Dexian Empire. If you dare to touch us, you will definitely not be able to move an inch in the Dexian Empire. You actually dare To threaten me now? Lin Xian sneered. I don't know what will happen in the future, but I know that the two of you must die today. After speaking, he waved his hand, and the dragon sword domain directly enveloped the two of them. Countless rays of sword chi turned into resplendent rays of light, instantly piercing towards the two of them. Those auras were too terrifying, like peerless divine weapons, incomparably sharp. They directly pierced through the bodies of the two elders of the Zhao family. The dragon sword domain disappeared, and the bodies of the two elders of the Zhao family fell to the ground. Fresh blood flowed, dyeing the earth red. Looking at this scene, everyone's scalps went numb, and the remaining martial artists of the Zhao family fled madly. Lin Xian waved his arm, and dozens of rays of sword chi flew out, beheading all of them. In a moment, the martial artists of the Zhao family were all wiped out. Then Lin Xian turned around and looked at the Dong family again. Feeling that gaze, Dong Qian's body trembled, and her expression was incomparably ugly. She did not expect that the other party would actually dare to make a move. That Zhao family was the same as their Dong family, a first-rate family. Could it be that he was not afraid of crazy revenge? Kid, if you dare to touch me, you're dead. Dong Qian screamed. She did not have any strength to resist at all, and could only threaten. Kid, I advise you to quickly let me go. My brother is nearby, and when he comes, you're definitely dead. My brother is a 3-star king, a genius of the younger generation. He's also a capable subordinate of the third prince, and he will soon participate in the Empire's martial arts competition. He will definitely be famous in the world. If you dare to touch me, you're dead. However, these threatening words were pale and pitiful in Lin Xian's eyes. Participate in the martial arts competition? 3-star king? Is he very strong? Lin Xian sneered disdainfully. In the next moment, the dragon sword realm flew out again and enveloped Dong Qian and the martial artists of the Dong family. Lin Xian said coldly, I have no enmity with you, but you tried to assassinate my woman out of jealousy. I can't forgive you for that. So, you're in this situation now because you asked for it, Lin Xian said coldly. Then he raised his hand and was about to activate the dragon sword realm. However, at this moment, an angry roar came from afar. Who dares to touch my Dong family? This voice was very terrifying, and it was like dozens of thunderbolts exploding in the air. However, when she heard this voice, Dong Qian exclaimed, Brother, save me! Let go of my sister, kneel on the ground and wait for death, or I'll tear you into pieces. That figure rushed over at an extremely fast speed. However, Lin Xian snorted coldly, and his hand fell mercilessly. Chapter 1522. Suddenly, the dragon sword domain erupted with a terrifying light, and countless sword chi killed all the Dong family martial artists inside. Puff, 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 puff. What? He killed them all. Everyone was shocked, and their scalps went numb. They didn't think that Lin Xian would be so bold as to kill in front of the Dong family. The Dong family martial artist who rushed over also roared crazily. He didn't think that the other party would really dare to attack, which made him very crazy. Ah, kid, go to hell. That figure was like a shocking rainbow, rushing towards Lin Xian. That figure was too powerful, and his aura was shocking. Light erupted from his body and shot into the sky. There was an incomparably violent, domineering aura on his body. He stood in the air, and countless rays of light surged under his feet, forming a white tiger that quickly stomped towards Lin Xian. Vaguely, everyone seemed to hear a tiger's roar that shook the mountains and rivers. Then, A white tiger quickly formed under the mysterious martial artist's feet, baring its fangs and brandishing its claws as it roared in the air. This white tiger was not an ordinary tiger, but a very powerful martial art. At this moment, in the hands of this mysterious martial artist, it was even more shocking, like an ancient divine beast. White tiger kill. This is a mid-grade earth step martial art. Everyone exclaimed. Even in the Dacian Empire, earth step martial arts were not ordinary, but very high-level martial arts. Ordinary people couldn't learn them at all. Just like those Zhao family elders from before, they only mastered low-grade earth step martial arts. They didn't have any mid-grade earth step martial arts. But now, the moment this young man appeared, he used his father's mid-grade martial art. It was incomparably powerful. White light soared into the sky, and the terrifying fluctuations were shocking. This stomp seemed to be able to shatter the entire mountain and river. The huge white tiger phantom instantly enveloped Lin Xian. Humph! Lin Xian waved his arm and directly used the Qilin arm. A Qilin quickly formed, roaring and fiercely colliding with the white tiger that swooped down from the sky. Then, the two divine beasts disappeared into the air together. Terrifying energy turned into waves that slapped in all directions, scaring everyone into hurriedly retreating. In the sky, a figure appeared. It was a young man about 28 or 29 years old. At this moment, his handsome face was filled with gloom. He was like a fiend god, standing in the void and looking down. He asked coldly, "Brat, you actually dared to kill my sister. Today, I will make you kneel and accept your death. Your sister only has herself to blame. It's better to kill such a person. I advise you to scram. Otherwise, if you anger me, I'll kill you too." Facing the sky, Lin Xian did not back down. "Brat, you are too arrogant. Don't think that you can be arrogant just because you killed a few late-stage two-star kings. Let me tell you, those people are nothing in my eyes. The same goes for you. I advise you to kneel down obediently. This way, you may suffer less pain. Otherwise, if you anger me, I will make you regret being born into this world." Three-star king, is this what gives you the right to be so arrogant? Lin Xian sneered. "Brat, you are too weak. You don't know how powerful a three-star king is. In the sky, Dong Qianshan was very arrogant. In front of me, even late-stage two-star kings are ants, let alone you. Moreover, I am not an ordinary three-star king. I am a martial artist under the third prince, and I am also a genius who is about to participate in the martial arts conference. If you offend me, you will not have a good ending." "Ridiculous," Lin Xian sneered. Dong Qianshan's arrogant attitude made him very unhappy. Therefore, in the next moment, he did not waste any time and directly used the Dragon Sword Realm to attack. Myriad Sword Technique. At this moment, Lin Xian used another middle-grade Earth-class martial art. Suddenly, the Dragon Sword spirit trembled, and countless sword chi quickly formed, releasing endless, cold light. 3,000 sword force. Lin Xian roared, and 3,000 sword chi surrounded him, forming a terrifying aura. Then he slashed out with his sword, and the terrifying sword chi was like a shocking rainbow, quickly slashing forward. This aura was too terrifying, as if it could destroy the galaxy and shatter everything. When the surrounding martial artists saw this scene, their scalps went numb. Even the late-stage two-star kings were filled with fear. In front of this aura, they did not have any power to resist. In the sky, Dong Qianshan's expression changed for the first time. He did not expect that his opponent could release such a terrifying aura. Then he roared and quickly counterattacked. "White Tiger Divine Fist." Dong Qianshan roared and waved his fists. This time, two huge tiger heads appeared on his fists, and terrifying power quickly circulated. His body surged with killing intent and directly pierced through the void. Bang! The two collided in the sky, and a huge collapse occurred. The entire void exploded, and countless black cracks appeared, spreading in all directions. The 3,000 sword chi turned into a terrifying killing intent, and directly cut open the two ferocious tiger heads, creating countless cracks. Dong Qianshan's pupils shrank, and his expression changed drastically. His body swayed, and he turned into a white light, quickly retreating. What? He was pushed back. Everyone looked at the sky, and their scalps went numb. They did not expect that the one who was pushed back was Dong Qianshan, who was a 3-star king. This was too unbelievable. It should be known that Dong Qianshan was a 3-star king, and his opponent was only a 1-star king. However, the result was out of everyone's expectations. Heavens! Who is that young man? He is even more powerful than Dong Qianshan? He must have some way to hide his cultivation. Otherwise, a 1-star king could not force a 3-star king to retreat. This does not make sense, many people screamed, and they were extremely shocked. In the sky, Dong Qianshan also stopped, and his face was gloomy as he looked ahead. "Brat, who are you?" Lin Xian sneered. "Don't you think it's too late to ask who I am?" "You..." Dong Qianshan snorted coldly. "Don't be so arrogant. I was just careless." "Is that so? Then use your full strength and fight with me." Lin Xian laughed wildly, and then he attacked again. "You are courting death." Dong Qianshan was furious when he saw Lin Xian charging at him. He had never been looked down upon like this before. He was a 3-star king, and he was the 3rd prince's right-hand man. His strength could definitely be ranked in the top 10 among the 3rd prince's martial artists. Therefore, he would not allow a 1-star king to look down on him. He roared angrily, and he attacked again with the White Tiger Divine Fist. Then, the two of them fought fiercely. Terrifying energy spread out in all directions, and the shocking sound created many black holes in the void. However, Dong Qianshan was quickly sent flying again. Not only that, but he was also injured, and a trace of blood flowed out of the corner of his mouth. What? Dong Qianshan was also sent flying after using his full strength? When everyone saw this scene, their scalps went numb. You're tuning into the Mystic Fist YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.